incredible experts in their lane about artificial intelligence, right? So this panel discussion is called Hire a Tool, ChatGPT and Friends. And if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, just sit in place and you will. If you do know what I'm talking about, but are intimidated today about using these tools and figuring out where to plug it into your business, all good. We have the right people in the house today, okay? So digest this next hour, okay? I want you to challenge yourself. So really search everything we're talking about and then implement. All right, so before we get into it, I'm gonna let these ladies introduce themselves. Each of you, please take up space. Let us know how you even got into your entrepreneurial journey and what you do today with your companies. Flo, let's start with you.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. And I also kind of caution, I don't really call myself an expert. Why? Because technology is moving at such a fast rate that even I struggle to keep up as a techie. However, so I have spent over 10 years in the technology sector. I have experience with corporate technology operations and telecommunications. I'm also a Juris Doctorate, so I'm also a lawyer, and I'm still a licensed lawyer on top of that. I am also the co-founder and chief operating officer for a DEI technology company. We're doing DEI a little bit differently. We're helping organizations optimize and really maximize their DEI strategic initiatives by leveraging technology and data analytics. I am also the creator of a show that is called Get Tech Smart, where I talk all things tech in my state. I interview tech, I guess, experts, if we want to use the word experts. We talk about all things from artificial intelligence to cybersecurity to everything that's going on, from tech layoffs and lack of diversity in technology. So I call myself a tech baddie. So I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. I love that, tech daddy. I'll say tech daddy instead of expert if that feels good. I like that. We'll keep it rolling. TC, we're going to kick it over to you. Let us know what you do with your company and how you stepped into entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm very excited about this already. My name is TC. Aside from the fact that I love technology because it literally saved my life, right? I've been able to use it to the past 8 years plus in creating effective systems, building those funnels to bring in consistent income for women in business so they're able to live the lifestyle that they deserve and desire. I literally use technology to bring in money, right? Money, technology is my game. Well, they call me the automation queen because all things back end, just to help you create the lifestyle that you deserve, is my gem. I'm actually currently working on my own online course platform. It's still in the pipeline. I'm still working on it. So I'm so excited to share that, but that's still in the pipeline. Thank you.
Thank you, TC. And where are you based, Mama?
Yes, I'd love to add that. Okay, so I'm Nigerian, but currently based in the UK.
Ah, nice. All right, so we're spanning across 3 different continents right now. I'm in Nairobi, Kenya. We have the UK from Europe present, and the US based baddies. I'm gonna start using that, tech baddies, in this conversation as well, which is so important, right? Because AI, artificial intelligence, right? Automation, machine learning, et cetera, it's really shaking up the entire globe, right? And we need to make sure that Black women understand how to use this, right? How to replace humans with it during recessionary times where cash flow is very, very tight. We need to make sure that you know that you do not need tons of dollars. You don't need venture capital money. You don't need loans, okay? You don't need angel investors to tap into this today. So please, everybody, tap into this, because our intention today is make sure that you know how to go beyond doing Google searches with your piecemeal information. You have this blog, you have that blog, right? And actually use bots that can talk to you just the way you talk to other people, okay? So we're gonna dive into this thing. Ladies, I actually wanna start with understanding how you can use AI for practical things, right? How are you using AI today for practical things? I know for me, if I'm going on a trip, I'll say, give me a 7-day itinerary for South Africa, right? And if I'm not hopping around, I'll say Cape Town, right? That's my fave. And I have a bomb schedule, right? So I'd love to hear from you all. How are you using it today, TC? Especially you talked about saving money. If you could give some light on that lens, especially, that'd be great.
So currently I'm playing around with a couple of tools that help with building websites, especially for startup entrepreneurs that are, like trying to save money, and they're like, I can't hire a website developer to help. So I use Gamma right now to just fast track the entire process. So that would help you create at least your one web page to help you get started. Everything you need, literally, it's just that one-stop shop you want to have, especially for your website. You can create that within that platform. You can either export it or import it, whichever, but it's time saving, it's money saving, and it gives you step-by-step everything you need basically on your website. I play around with a couple of tools, really, especially when maybe, for example, I am short of ideas. ChatGPT is one tool that I want to play around with, so they're just a couple of tools. But for women, growing, scaling their business, you want to start with either having a website or, one space. Gamma is one place that I would say start with because it helps you get started real good.
I love that, TC. And you said a word that I want to make sure that everybody listening understands. TC says scaling your business. There's a difference between growing in revenue, right? Growing in customers and scaling your business. Scaling is when you increase your revenue without an equal increase in time spent, money spent, people leveraged. Like, that is scale, right? Having those dollars go up and your bottom line exponentially growing too, right? So exactly, I love that. Building a whole website without hiring a developer, genius. Flo, do you have anything else to share about the way that you're using artificial intelligence today in your business or even in your life?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. One of the things I always joke and say is I'm a broke entrepreneur, right? And I joke about that because, I'm a former bankruptcy attorney. So I'm very frugal when it comes to budgeting. But I mean, let's be real. A lot of entrepreneurs, when they're starting out, they just don't have a lot of money. Some people are starting with a $0 budget. And some people might just have, hey, I got $500, okay? So how do you make that work, right? How are you gonna hire employees to help you jumpstart your business when you have $0 or you got $500? And this is where artificial intelligence comes in, right? AI is super smart. And one of the things that a lot of people are loving about AI is its ability to kind of do more than one person's job. The ability to analyze data quickly and massive amount of data that me as an average human, I can't do. So what does that mean? Maybe you're selling products. How are you keeping track of the products that your customers actually like? The products that are selling the best, doing well, versus the products that are not doing well. And this is where small business owners can start leveraging artificial intelligence, because there are software that are on the market right now. One great example, Google Analytics, for example. It can help you track the traffic. It can help you kind of get a sense of what your customers like and the things they're not clicking on. That's one simple example. And everybody right now is talking about ChatGPT. We're seeing it everywhere. Unless if you live in a cave, you might not know about it. But ChatGPT is the hottest craze right now. And it's great for someone like me who is also a content creator. Sometimes I might say, oh my God, I have this idea of a speech, but I don't know what to call it, right? I want it to be a hot title that's going to be captivating, but I might be having writer's block. So, how do I come up with an idea of that speech? Then I will go to ChatGPT and just give it those kind of references of what I'm looking for in my title, and boom. The other thing, because I write a lot, you know, especially for DI directive, I'm the COO, but I'm also overseeing the marketing. I'm also doing the blogs. And because I'm writing a lot, I want to make sure that my grammar and my sentence structure looks okay, right? And so I use Grammarly. It's embedded on my phone, in my emails, on all my social media. And that's the one key thing we've got to remember, is that with a lot of this artificial intelligence, we can integrate it to our other softwares. And that's where we're able to really get the full benefits of leveraging artificial intelligence.
Love that. And I appreciate you, Flo, for like putting it in across several different examples. Because I see the chat. I know a lot of bells are going off for people, right? On things they're already doing every day. Like, this is accessible for Black women. You don't have to be someone else, right? Like, you don't have to like up your game, like be it until you see it. Like literally today, like Flo was talking about, like TC is talking about, right? Like, what are the things you're doing right now that you can have an assistant, a lot of times free, right? A bot assistant. I call mine Bianca, okay? Look out for that in the market coming, y'all, because Bianca has to be used by more Black women. But I agree. A client of mine needed a JD a few days ago, a job description for a role they wanted to hire for. I had my bot build it inside of Copy AI. They're using ChatGPT now. They built the entire job description, 2 pages. It was amazing. Popped the logo on there, boop, and it was out, right? And now the resumes are coming in. Love that. Thank you both, ladies. So I think now we can get into some of the good stuff, okay? Which is the controversial stuff, right? Like, we really do need to unpack some of the things that are not black and white, and some of the things that have, you know, unintended consequences, right? Even when they are good. So Flo, I'm gonna kick this next question over to you, because we need to talk about how AI is disrupting the job market today, right?
Right.
What are some of the ways that AI is replacing the need for hiring people and talent in business today? And does this mean that people are now out of jobs altogether? Does it mean something else? What would you say?
Right. So what I would say is this, let's be real, right? Some of the jobs that AI is replacing are things that people don't want to do anyway. Okay, so that's the first part I always say. Like, when you go to the checkout line, you know, you're going in the checkout line, you're doing quickly on your own. You're not having to stand in line waiting for hours. You know, things are automated, right? It's about automation, moving things quickly. So, and for some people, yes, there are reports and data out there that's coming out and has been coming out in the past couple of weeks that is essentially saying AI is going to replace 300,000 jobs. And, you know, those jobs are really in people who are, for example, in the legal industry was one that I saw. And now lawyers are like, oh my God, AI is going to replace us. Now we're going to have robo lawyers running around, you know. But the truth of the matter is that I don't actually like using the word AI is going to replace. I like saying AI is going to assist, because at the end of the day, AI is an assistant. AI is built by humans. AI doesn't build itself. It's built by humans. Humans are still needed to vet AI. Right now, even when you look at OpenAI, for example, they're using humans to continuously train the model to make it better, make the output that it provides you better, and align with essentially what you're telling it to do. It's humans behind the screen. That's why when you go to OpenAI, for example, you will see a lot of cautions that say, be careful what you share, because again, we have humans behind the screen that are going to see this information. So what do, right? Because the other concern is in schools, plagiarism, you know, students using AI essentially to do their homework, write their papers, do their tests, you know, so there's that bigger concern where we also started seeing a lot of schools starting to ban the use of AI on school devices and essentially in the school buildings. The truth of the matter is, I think the ban is the kind of more restrictive solution, which might not be viable. And why might it not be viable is because AI is not going away. And while we might see a replacement in certain jobs, again, which is probably manual, repetitive tasks that humans don't want to do anyway, that can now be automated. And what does that do? It frees time for people to do things that are more needed, more urgent, that allows us to not just sit there like, oh God, here I am back at work. Now I got to keep doing the same thing over and over again. No, now we're needed to do other things that might allow us to really be able to tap more into our intellect, that might allow our organizations to tap more into our qualifications and skills. And then with the demand for AI, we're also seeing the demand for people who know how to use AI models, people who know how to actually help and assist in training the AI models. I'm seeing roles coming on for prompt engineers, and prompt engineers essentially help with training the model, helping it get better in terms of, structuring questions. And that way the AI, again, can be able to better provide output. And those jobs are paying a lot of money. One role that I saw was like $200,000 to $375,000. So yes, there's gonna be some jobs where we're gonna see a shift. But with that shift, we're also gonna see a creation of more unique roles coming out, like prompt engineer. Now, going to the school ban, why I'm saying that's a restrictive solution is that our children need to understand how to use technology. Technology is the future. I'm seeing more jobs that are actually requiring people who have the ability to use AI products. Because what's going on? Let's look at it. Google is using AI in their products. Microsoft is using AI in the products. We're seeing, even in the legal industry, I'm seeing more legal technology software that's embedded and integrated with artificial intelligence. So what does that mean? It means we need to know how to use AI products. So restricting AI is the wrong thing to do. We need to teach our students and our kids good technology hygiene, right? How do you use AI, not to cheat, not for plagiarism, but how to use AI to be more productive, right? Because that's essentially why AI is built, is to help us be more productive. So yes, we are gonna see some jobs are gonna get taken over, but it might not be the job you wanted to do in the first place. So my tip is this to all the women who are listening: start learning how to use AI products. Why? Because then you're gonna be in demand. You're going to be in demand, and those salary ranges that we're seeing where there are 200,000 to 375,000, you will be able to command that pay because you have the capabilities of understanding what artificial intelligence, how to improve the systems, and how to make recommendations on how to better enhance products that we're seeing now on the market.
Thank you, Flo. And I appreciate you for coming at this from so many angles, because this is a very, very, very nuanced discussion, right? Like, much like tech hits every single sector today, right? This disruption from artificial intelligence, it hits every person, every hood, every bubble of, euphoria with people making a whole lot of money. And so I appreciate you speaking from the college students all the way over to jobs, right? Corporate jobs. And I want to also put a plug in for all of the women entrepreneurs right now who are listening to this, who are fearful of not being able to reach these goalposts that we're talking about when we say, yes, engineers are needed, right? I see you. We see you. We see you. And if hood feminism has taught me anything, it's that none of us are free until all of us are free. Right? Like, none of us have progressed until all of us have progressed, right? And so I want to Also let you know that you have a huge opportunity, man, because you're building the thing from scratch, because you don't even need a whole team to do it anymore, because AI is at your fingertips. You can actually zoom past Google. You can zoom past Microsoft. You can zoom past Bank of America, because they're trying to steer a whole ship of 200,000 people, and you got one or two, and you like, bet, let's move this way, right? So I want you to think about yourself as their peers. You should. Right? If we think about Blockbuster, who used to be here, who is not here anymore, something happened with technology and they didn't move. And they moved too slowly. Let's just say they moved too slowly, right? Which is not your problem today, right? Blockbuster saw Netflix come out and start mailing the DVDs and mailing the VHS, but Blockbuster couldn't move fast enough. They kept saying, no, I need y'all to get in your car, drive to the parking lot, walk in the store, go to the shelves, go to the cash register, right? Rent the thing, and then when you're done, bring it back. They didn't move fast enough, right? But small Netflix did, small Redbox did. Redbox said, man, let me put it in the Walmart exit, right? Let me put it in the gas station exit. Right? And then before you knew it, streaming took off overnight, right? Where Blockbuster was out of business and Netflix created a new market for Amazon Prime, right? For Hulu. I could go on, y'all know this, for Apple TV, right? So I see you, sis. And what I promise you is, because you are a small business, you don't have to reach for goalposts you don't care about. You can move faster than them, right? Blaze got a Webby award honoree for our first summit, Bootstrap. It was just case. And I'm like, dang, best in business technology, that's crazy. Using tech, right? That's you, okay? So don't feel discouraged. Just move, pick it up like Flo said. Like the game got to change, right? Like you can be at the front of the line. TC, I want to definitely make sure I'll hear anything you want to add, if you have anything around, you know, this job replacement and this disruption and these fears that are coming up a lot now with AI being so popular.
You know, I was listening to you, Flo, and, you know that in my business right now, AI has literally helped me in growing a lean team. So it's really more about quality, right? However, it's not me saying I'm not hiring more people. It's me saying I'm helping the people that I hire appreciate the output and their level of productivity, right? Because you see, it can be very frustrating if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? Now, but with AI, you enjoy working, you enjoy doing business, you enjoy doing what you love to do. And trust me, you know, every time I have conversations like this, people are always like, AI is going to take up the market space, is going to do this, people are going to be jobless, everybody's just going to go hungry. And I'm like, no, AI cannot do without you as a human. Like AI needs you as much as you think you need AI. So there is no AI without you. Like literally, it's a two-way thing. It's a partnership game, right? Like every time we talk about the tools that we use, our tools are as good as ourselves, right? If we don't tell these tools what to do, they're not able to do it well, like as much as we want them, like the outcome, right? The output, the productivity. Okay, so I was messing around with ChatGPT on one of the trainings that I was having in one of the communities, and somebody said, she's like, TC, what if I say, so she's trying to write a full-blown email sequence, right? And so we're just writing and playing around with it. And she's like, how about I say this? And I said, regardless of what you say, whatever you put in is what you get. Now, AI is not going to manufacture whatever, it's working with you. You make it more intelligent by putting in all of this information. That's how we get smarter. So you see, there's no way AI is ever going to replace the human element, right? It still needs us. I feel that with AI right now, it only helps humans, to stay out of being lazy. it makes us even want to show off as our best self. So I only feel it makes us better. That's what I say.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And can I add to that what she just said? I think
yeah.
one of the things that you said, Casey, is that here's the thing that we really didn't touch upon is, yes, right now there's a lot of AI on there, and it's actually a good thing because the market is now flooded with AI products, which makes it more affordable. Right. Because when AI first came out, it was like, hey, there's now, because there's always that kind of digital gap, digital divide in terms of other people who have access to technology, people who can benefit and leverage technology. And for a lot of women and specifically women of color and in marginalized and underrepresented communities, we have tended to be far behind when it comes to technology. For women entrepreneurs and women business owners listening, this is your opportunity to tap into this technology market and create, not just leverage the technology, but create the technology that can benefit businesses like Microsoft, Google, Amazon. I mean, Microsoft has invested billions into OpenAI and ChatGPT. Imagine you being that entrepreneur that Microsoft invests in by creating your own AI tool. So don't look at it as a replacement. Look at it as, how can I leverage this market to create something off my own and make that money? Because TC is all about making that money, right? But you got to leverage, right? And don't be scared. AI is not really as complicated as some people might think. I think being a tech educator as well, being somebody who's actually created artificial intelligence courses, and I'm self-taught. I'm self-taught based on my love for technology and really staying up to date with everything that's going on, is that it's not complicated. What happens is we have a lot of techies out there who kind of explain things in a way that's like, I don't know what the hell they just said right now to me. And that's why for me, as part of my passion for technology and educating others about technology, is I like to take that complicated stuff and kind of break it down and make it simple for people to understand. And AI is not complicated. As Casey said, you have to leverage it. Technology is here. And the data shows, and here's what you need to know. The data shows that businesses and organizations that do not leverage technology will be bankrupt. Let me say that again. Businesses and organizations that do not leverage technology will be bankrupt. Because just as we are trying as entrepreneurs to leverage technology to make us more productive, as TC says, free up our time, free up my time to speak to my customers, get to know my customers, because now I'm not having to do repetitive tasks that keep me away from my customers. Now I have free time. Right? Businesses that are doing that, customers notice, right? Customers are now looking for organizations and businesses that are tech savvy, right? People now are like, hey, can I pay with my card? Can I pay digitally? Can I use, a digital wallet to make a payment? Customers are starting to look for easy ways they can purchase products and get services. And they're looking for organizations and businesses that are digitally savvy.
That's right, Flo. Amen to all of that. And I'm happy we are hitting all of these points, because these are the fears that keep us up at night, right? I mean, it's not easy when you're bootstrapping and like literally trying to hang on by a thread, but like, these are all the elements of bend, don't break, right? Yes, it is difficult, right? To change and be uncomfortable. Like, yes, there is always something to learn, because doggone it, technology keeps changing, right? But like Flo said, your customers want it, actually, right? True fact, check Forbes if you don't believe me. Between February 2020 and April 2020, few short months, 41% of all Black-owned businesses in the United States failed. Why? because shelter-in-place orders went into effect and they could not survive. They did not have digital presence. They did not have a way for folks to digitally check out so they could just ship it to them. They did not. 41% of all Black-owned businesses failed between February 2020 and April 2020, right? And so it is, you can't afford not to create the website with Gamma, you know, just because you don't have money, right, to hire a developer, right? Like you can't afford not to. So definitely lean into this stuff, right? And we'll make sure I'll run a similar question back one more time, just to make sure that you know you can write down the names of all of our favorite tools. We want you edified, because like Flo just said, right? Like this actually makes it cheaper, right, for folks to use best in class, world-class language, world-class references, world-class examples, right? So it actually shrinks the divide, right? Because it used to be that if you did not go to Harvard, right? If you did not pay $200,000 to get into this club where information was being exchanged, you were gatekept, right? That's not, I'm a living testament to that. I've literally been traveling around the world with a laptop for 2 years, and somehow, like so many people, you know, no Blaze because of tech, right? So let's sit on this a little longer, ladies, if you don't mind, just so folks who are ready to start writing some things down, because I feel people kind of hot with it now, like y'all believe in us now, just so they can write it down. I'll say a couple of the tools that I use and what I use it for, and then we'll go around just so you all can write this stuff down and start, right? Just start somewhere, right? So Otter AI, OTTER.ai is a tool that we use inside of Blaze to have a bot join our conversations on Zoom. The bot joins our conversations on Google Meets, and it transcribes the whole thing. And it even says, like, it guesses who's talking, like Casey said this, Hannah said that, right? It's amazing, right? It's amazing. And it can even record the conversation if you wanted to record, if you wanted to do like meeting notes, like it'll take bullets and stuff and share it with everybody right after. That's Otter AI. We use that. Microsoft has a tool called Bing Image Creator. I'm really pushing my graphic designer to use this more and more, because you can give it a sentence and it will create a picture for free from whatever you said, right? And we all know that searching for stock images of Black women that don't look ridiculous is hard to come by, right? And so inside of Blaze, we're working to like create the things we don't see today, right? And really take like, what if she on the moon? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if one day she's like the Jetsons because she's so dope in tech, right? We're using Bing Image Creator to make images with that. Vidyo.ai, VIDYO.ai is an AI tool that takes your long form videos and it literally slices up the best pieces based on what people are searching on the internet. That's dope. It's taking the words from the internet and slicing the best clips from your long form and templatizing it with your brand color so that in literally 60 seconds, you have these sound bites to post across social media. That is AI, right? I'll give one more that we use pretty heavily. There are tons, but Copy AI is one of my absolute faves. It will write blog posts for you. I mean, it does a lot of stuff, right? But blogs are something that we really love doing inside of Blaze to really edify folks perpetually, right, for years to come. And Copy AI will create blogs for you. And they also have this chat integration from ChatGPT now where you can just ask it questions. Like you could literally say, I'll give an example of something I've said recently. My fiance is a designer, a fashion designer. And I said, what are the names of the best mills in China? The thing gave me addresses, names, streets, phone. I mean, just amazing, okay? So yeah, those are some of the tools and the names of the tools and how you can use them. Flo, we'll go to you and then TC. What are the tools that you're using today so folks can write them down and Google them for their businesses?
Yeah, like, so as I mentioned before, Grammarly is like my number one too. Just because I write a lot. And even though I was an English major, sometimes the grammar, you're quickly, just trying to get things out and you've got spelling mistakes. And there's nothing worse than when you send that email and then you go back to read it and you're like, oh my God, I literally sounded like deranged, right? And that's, so that's what I love about the tool, because it essentially will redline even my social media posts, even my text messages, I have it integrated on my desktop. So anything that I'm essentially writing, whether it's Twitter or a Facebook post or a LinkedIn, it will edit. Even if I'm on TikTok writing, a caption from my video, it will edit and correct spelling mistakes. One thing that I'm noticing with Grammarly right now is they're stepping up their AI game. They have a beta testing right now where they're doing something similar to ChatGPT, where I was writing an email the other day and it said, hey, would you like us to suggest how to respond back? And I played around with it and I hit yes, suggest. And it essentially is looking at the email that I got and then writing up a response without me having to type up. It's doing the work for me, which again, another way for me to be productive and save time. Because you can imagine as business owners, when you're out there, and I go to a lot of networking events, and when I come back, I'm emailing people back. So having that ability to automate some of those emails that are coming in and responses that are coming in really frees up my time to do other things. ChatGPT, I'm a fan. Right now I'm using the free version. So let's remember that some of these products do give you the ability to try them out for free. So you don't have to break your wallet and go in the negative. So I've been trying it out. And again, I like it for just getting ideas of the content I can create. When ChatGPT first came out, it was only limited to essentially data that was only up to 2021. They've now since kind of have opened up the ability to integrate it with other search engines. So I'm on the waiting list for that. I signed up where I'm able to essentially integrate it with other search engines so that I can expand my search of topics past 2021. And it's also great for doing research. Hey, what does X, Y, and Z? Or for example, somebody posted a case that happened in the Supreme Court. And I didn't want to go and do the research myself and spend hours trying to break down what the case said. So I just went to ChatGPT and said, hey, what happened with, Paul versus Paul, and summarize it for me. And it did that. It sent me the summary and I was like, oh, okay, that's what the person was trying to say. One AI tool that I just downloaded recently is called Buffer. And Buffer is supposed to essentially, listen, I'm on so many social media platforms. Okay, I can't keep up with every comment that comes in. And Buffer essentially helps you can integrate your social media platforms and it'll notify you when you have comments. And better yet, it'll notify you with the most recent. Maybe you missed a comment. I just really pride myself in trying to respond when people leave a comment on my post. But the reality is I can't respond to 100 or 200 posts timely, right? So having that notification to say, hey, here are the posts that you need to respond and here's the order in which they came in. That's like absolutely like fantastic. And the other unlikely tools that people don't even think about that use AI, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, these are all AI algorithms, right? They have the AI algorithms that help you not only as a user, does it help me filter through content that relates to me and the things that I like, but as business owners, we can also leverage those tools to attract our customers, right? To attract our customers. So when you look at AI tools, don't just think about these big names like ChatGPT and Grammarly and Midjourney, for example, where you can kind of create photos or other tools out there on the market that help you generate videos and marketing tools. Also look at those unlikely tools like the Instagram and the TikTok and the Facebook. And even WhatsApp uses AI technology as well. For those who don't know, it does that. So that would be kind of my recommendations for tools to be on the lookout for that do have the AI capabilities embedded that can help you leverage and find your customers quickly and more efficiently.
Beautiful. Thank you, Flo. TC, any tools that you'd like to add to the list that you're using today?
Yes, okay. I love to talk about tools, right? Because I play around with so many of them. But I'll be very specific. So right now, because we work with virtual assistants, a couple of businesses and all of that. So we do so much of project management and all of that. And we use ClickUp to get this done. So the good thing about ClickUp is it is highly AI infiltrated, right? So you can integrate so many things, so many of your regular favorite tools like your calendar, because that you're able to stay up to date, right, with your team, even if you don't have currently because obviously we're all starting up, right? So if you have maybe a virtual assistant somewhere, or it's just you in your business, you can get yourself accountable, get yourself staying on top of things in your business without necessarily maybe outsourcing these things to people. So it's like you're assigning tasks to yourself, making things easier for you to achieve, right? Now, with this particular tool, you're able to get so much done without conflicting each other, right? So if you're working maybe on a new launch or a new project, it keeps you up to date, helps you stay accountable, and helps you manage your expectations, right? Like I said, you can integrate so many things into this tool. Your communication tool, either Slack, WhatsApp, Google, your calendar. Think about your regular tool, right? You can get it, your Google Drive, right? Your Zoom, all of it can be integrated so you're able to have a seamless flow of communication with either your customers, with yourself. Okay, so we use ClickUp. I know I kept talking about integration. So because we work with so many business owners that are working on their launches, their funnels, their systems, there's always a need for integration once in a while. Now, if you're thinking of integration, I love Zapier because it helps with integrations, right? It just helps you put in, you have like all of this disjointed, points, you put them all together, and then it has like this seamless one-line flow. And so it's just click, 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 right? And then you have nothing to worry about, really. So sometimes people are like, you know what, I want to integrate my email marketing tool to my this particular tool. What do I do? Because it's all scattered everywhere. Now with this particular integrator, I call it an amazing integrator, kind of bring all of these different little tools together, put them into one space, right? And just gives you the best experience. Yeah, there are a couple of them. I love Copy AI because it's seamless, right? And it has an amazing SEO functionality. You can build your entire email sequence. You can build your blogs, you can write your blogs, you can do so many things, right? But you should understand that all of these tools can only give you what you want it to do once you're able to optimize all of its functionalities. So figure out what these tools can do for you, right? So you're able to get the best out of it. But yeah, those are like the 3 tools I can, because yes, the tools are so much, right? So many tools, right? But you want to start with that to get your business started.
So good. Thank you so much, TC. And I love how you keep reminding us that like the tools can only do what you want it to do. Because yeah, it's that grounding, right? Like it still needs you, right? This helps your team operate in their zones of genius, right? So instead of paying somebody 6 hours to do something, you can pay them 6 hours for 1 hour, right? Like build, but 5 hours think and be creative and like grow your business. Super fire. All right, this time has flown by. We are now at the end, and I appreciate all of the knowledge that you ladies have dropped. To close this out, I want to really hold space for this topic around ethics, right? Especially as Black women, right? Who in all parts of the world often are the last rung on the ladder, right? We're the afterthought once things go bad. And it's like, oh, that did damage them. Oh man, that did mess up their mental health, right? So I'd love to get your raw opinions, right, on this thing called ethics as we think about technology, right? ChatGPT specifically, this didn't get a lot of press, which kind of infuriates me. But at the end of the year, you know, they were in some news outlets about how OpenAI, the parent company of ChatGPT, that product, they actually sent their nastiest, darkest, most vile things that come up on the web from searches to Kenya. They sent it to this firm in Kenya to hire a bunch of people for about $2 an hour, a little less than $2 an hour, to sift through all of the vile, nasty stuff that comes up from the internet so they could tag it as inappropriate. So they could tag it as, don't send this back when people ask a question, right? And as you all can probably guess, there were side effects of this. The workers actually had mental health crises, right? Some people had vile images in their head of things I won't say right now, but you can imagine, right? Vile things with children, vile things with animals, vile things with strangers, right? And they could not get those cycles out of their head. And so though they made some money, right, for this project, and though they were the ones that helped ChatGPT commercialize their product, commercializing it, meaning it can now be consumed by anyone in the world and they have to worry about, right, these types of things, there was a cost, there was a side effect, right? So I just love to get some of your raw reactions, TC and Flo, around some of the things we should consider to make sure that we can do our level best, to make sure that our communities are protected, right? And do our level best to make sure that our voice is in the game, to ensure that impacts to us, especially Black women, aren't an afterthought. TC, anything you want to share in closing? I'll start with you. What are some of the things we can do to protect our people as technology and AI advances?
Okay, so there's so many tools out there. There's so many people showing up, you know, creating these tools. As much as AI can be an amazing revolution when it comes down to entrepreneurship, when it comes down to the beauty that life has, you know, it can also be a pretty good, I do not want to call it a menace, but it could be such a huge damage, right? It could play and cause so much damage if care is not taken. So as much as possible, you want to protect yourself, right? By doing your own research. So many tools are going to be coming up, right? So before you plug into any certain tool, do your research. Figure out what exactly you want to achieve first. So I'll give you an example, Casey, right? When people reach out to me to say, TC, I want to do something, right? Or maybe I want to build a funnel, right? What tool do I need? My first question is, what do you want to achieve? What's your goal, right? And you answer that, and I'm asking the second question. Now you've told me your goal. What are your expectations? Now, these are two questions you want to ask yourself to figure out what tool you should go out for, because you see, not all AI tool are good tools for you to leverage on. I literally came across a particular AI tool that, you know, does this. I don't want to say it here because it's not good, right? To say here, but it was like, I'm like, and it was supposed to be cartoon kind of, you know, and I'm like, kids are going to be attracted to this, and all in the name of AI. And I'm like, the first thing that came to my mind were my kids, because those are the kind of things my kids are literally attracted to. And it's technology, and they're so good with their phones, their iPads. And I'm like, you know, so we want to be able to put a level of control, right? Keep educating ourselves, keep telling ourselves that AI, right? We are in control of AI and not the other way around. That's what I have to say.
Love that. Thank you, TC. Flo, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think TC made some excellent points. I think definitely what we need to remember is that AI is great, but it also comes with, some risks. And one of the things that we've just got to be careful of, it's still kind of like any emerging technology, right? So there's still a lot that we are still learning about AI. And I know most recently there's been kind of articles coming out saying, we need to put a pause, like a 6-month pause on AI, because it's just coming in at a rapid pace. And it's hard also for regulators, right? It's hard for regulators to keep up. We don't have across the United States uniform laws and regulations as they relate to artificial intelligence. So that's the other concern, is we're having all this technology, and some of it has some biases. Some of it has some discrimination. I mean, Casey, earlier you mentioned, some of these AI tools sometimes have these, it could be intentional and it could also be unintentional biases. AI, some of Midjourney, or there was another Prisma AI that had come out, and people were uploading their photos, and then the AI would kind of create an avatar. But what was happening, that we were noticing kind of like some discrepancies when it came to people of color, or to women, Asian women, for example. It was spitting out images that were, for example, with Asian women, it was spitting out images that were more kind of very provocative and highly sexual. And then for Black women, it was spitting out images where they were looking lighter, more white, versus their true colors. So there's still a lot of work that has to be done in regards to regulating AI. And because it's coming out at a really fast pace, it is difficult for those regulators to keep up. And this is where it's going to be really critical for more people to really essentially say, hey, hold up. We need to really focus on imposing some type of regulation when it comes to the AI, and really vet it. Because what you mentioned, what was going on in Kenya, I saw that. I saw what was going on. But the things that we don't talk about also is that, AI can also give instructions on the best way to commit suicide. So there's those dangers there, that questions like that, how to create a bomb, how to rob a bank, how to create, use it. Like right now, we also have cybersecurity issues. And we got to remember that with the cybersecurity threats, those bad players are using artificial intelligence to figure out how to break into our networks, and as business owners, small businesses are the #1 targeted businesses when it comes to cybersecurity bad players, so there's all that. And it starts with, as TC said, we really, as individuals, have to not just hit the upload button or the download button until we fully understand, this AI product that I want to use, what is the objective for my business? What do I want to use it for? In addition, some of the questions as business owners, before we purchase or start using some of these products, we need to understand how they were created in the first place, right? Remember, I told you there are biases and discrimination in some of this technology. So you want to ask those questions like, hey, what training models were used to create this AI system, this AI algorithm? Some of the talk that we're seeing in terms of regulation is, putting in kind of like a certification, put in a certification of some of these AI products that say this AI product has been vetted, it's good to go, you can use it, there are no issues. But we're not there yet, right? So maybe us, as influencers, we can push for that to say, hey, because there are so many AI products on the market, we demand that we have certification, right? Certification that these products have been vetted for biases, discrimination, harmful content, because what you mentioned, with what was going on in Kenya, that's harmful content that they're essentially were tasked with having to vet and tag. So there's still a lot of work. AI is good. I will continue pushing for artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies, but I also always caution that we've got to be careful where we are making sure that we are taking full responsibility ourselves as users, right? We can't just do the blame game. As users, we have to take full responsibility of vetting products that we're using for our businesses, especially if we are a business that collects consumer data, right? We've got to remember, we've got to not only protect ourselves, but we also have to protect our customers. And that is on us as business owners and consumers to educate ourselves on the technologies that we're using, how they impact our business, and how they can have a potential impact as well on our consumers. So it comes with the education of not just, again, don't just hit download and upload, but take your time to vet to see, hey, are there any consequences of using this? What are the data protections for me and my consumers? Where is the data they're collecting and going? You know, where is my data going? Because we've seen, you know, other companies telling their employees don't use ChatGPT. Why? Because some of their trade secrets were being exposed on ChatGPT. So that's the other thing you got to ask, am I being protected? Is my data being protected from someone potentially leaking it out, you know, to my competitors? So technology is great, but there's so many other kind of steps that we've got to take for assurances to make sure that we're using and having good tech hygiene. And having good tech hygiene starts with us educating ourselves a little bit better. You might be like, oh, but Flo, you know, I'm not a techie. I don't understand this stuff, but that's okay. You don't have to understand it 100%, but you've got to, at least as a business owner, ask the critical questions that will protect you from lawsuits that could potentially close down your business because you didn't take that critical step to ask the right questions. So that will be kind of like my feedback on how to use technology to be productive, but also to be cautious about, you know, how some of that technology might impact your business as well as your customers.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Flo. So many incredible nuggets in that. And as always, from so many different angles, thank you so much, TC, for talking about the steps that you take to make sure you're giving folks what they need and not a bunch of extra stuff that exposes them unnecessarily. I've loved this conversation. You know, if I can give my last 2 cents around, you know, this topic around ethics, I just want to remind every person listening that you do not need to be consumed or addicted to technology, much like you don't have to be consumed and addicted to social media. Remember to stay grounded. Remember that the end game is not necessarily about piling up a bunch of money, right? If it is extra family time you want, right? Like, use this stuff to get more of that, and then you're good. Once you've arrived, right? If it is about breaking into a new industry, right? Once you got there, you don't have to, you know, be glued like a robot, right? Just use these. I'll quote Solange in her song "Weary" from Seat at the Table album. She said, "I'm gonna look for my body. I'll be back real soon. I'm gonna look for my body." She kept saying it. Like, there is so much wisdom and glory in that, right? Like, we are not meant to live to produce and die, right? Life is about so much more. And so as life gets easier because of artificial intelligence and because of these tools and automation and integrations, right? Make sure you stay grounded in your body so that enough is enough, right? And you can use your intuition to say, oh, this is a little fishy right here. They asking for too much. And say no, let your no be no. Y'all got it. I'm so proud of you. Flo and TC, you all are absolutely phenomenal. We are absolutely blessed to hear from your intelligence, your lens, your experience. Thank you so much for spending time with us. And please keep going, because you're going to help a whole lot of us. Everyone else, keep it locked. We have more to come. See you in the next session. Bye.
three funnels, okay? Three funnels to help you scale 6 figures online. Yeah, I know, whole idea behind 6 figures, right? But just before I go into today's training, my name is TC. I'm a launch and sales funnel strategist. I'm also an online business manager to women entrepreneurs. So, I'm very passionate about helping women create that consistent income, leveraging systems, funnels, and automation. This is going to be very easy. Okay, so you want to, as much as possible, participate. Okay, you want to participate. You want to ask all of your questions, because that's basically what we are going to be trashing today. I want to help you figure out how you can make money, what you need to do, how this money is coming in, and how you can grow and scale that 6-figure business, okay, online. It's very possible. It's very easy. You just need to know how, okay? And that's basically what we will be trashing today. So like I said earlier, you want to be very comfortable and you want to ask all of your questions, okay? Make it as interactive as possible. So I love to do this whole housekeeping reminders, okay? So don't turn on your cameras until I'm done with the training, just so that we are actively participating in the chat. Drop all of your questions, okay, in the chat, and I'll do well to respond to all of them in due time, right? Let's stay active in the chat. I love, all of the activities in the chat, and also be on the lookout, right? You would definitely get a 1-minute quiz to help you figure out if you're ready for that launch, right? I know, trust me, we're all looking out to making so much money. And if there's any secret of consistent income, that, trust me, every 6-figure expert, coach, consultant, product-based business, you would always hear this, right? Keep launching. Okay, now you can go hard, you can go soft, but you want to keep pushing out those amazing offers to your audience, so you get them all excited, okay? And then the money keep rolling in. That's basically what I'm about. All right. Okay, so for this workshop, what we're going to be doing is in 4 segments. All right. We're going to be talking about what a sales funnel is. Trust me, you'll be shocked as to know that whatever you're thinking about is actually not what a sales funnel is. And I'm also going to be trashing why you need one to scale your business online. I'm sure you don't know this, but there are important components, right, that you literally need to be very aware of to get your sales funnel working for you. I'm talking about that. I'm literally going to trashing that out, so you know what to look out for, what to put in place to get that consistent income rolling in. All right. We're also going to be talking about, like I said, 3 funnels. So there's a twist to this, right? I'm going to be talking about a funnel that e-commerce businesses should, as much as possible, tap into. I'm also going to be touching about funnels that service-based business, so no one is left behind, okay? And you should be able to, like, literally, these are the funnels that you need ASAP in your business. So if you don't have it, you want to, as much as possible, implement it, like, have it, okay? Create it so you're able to scale to that 6-figure online. And as much as possible, I'm also going to be sharing with you recommended tools. So I always have this. Sometimes, I have people say to me, Cici, you have your trainees, and you're not dishing out all of them tools. Trust me, there's so many, but I'm going to break it down for you, and I'm going to streamline these tools for you so that you're able to figure out, the best tools that you can. Start researching on, so you're able to pick that one unique tool that would help you basically sell out on all of your offers. I'm not kidding you, I'm very serious here. Okay, so I said earlier, my name is TC. I have almost 9 years experience in business, sales, marketing. I'm very passionate about systems, automation, because it literally changed my life, right? If you don't know this, right, I literally had my first 6-figure year last year, and I then realized that it's really not as difficult as they say it is. You know, it's just you understanding the tricks, and that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So take out the notepad, your pen, all of those good stuff, and start taking notes. Okay. I'm not sure if you're going to get this replay, but hopefully, sure, I don't know. But you want to take that note and you want to leverage on this workshop to ask all of your questions. Okay, that is very important. So now, talking about sales funnel, what did you hear about sales funnel? So if you have a sales funnel, drop 1 in the chat. If you're like, TC, what's a sales funnel? Drop 2. I'm checking, okay, and I want to know what you're thinking. So I see you're dropping it. Okay, that's fine. So here's the thing. Sometimes we call or we say, hey, TC, I get people reaching out to me, says to me, TC, I need a sales funnel. And I'm like, what do you need your sales funnel for? And after the conversation, you just realize that what they need is actually a sales page or a landing page or a website, and you're like, no, that's not a sales funnel. So I'm going to breaking it down for you today so that you understand that your sales funnel is not a landing page. It's not a sales page. It's a process, right? It's a process that shows you clearly, you have like this visual representation of how you are able to attract your target audience, right? Your target market, how you're able to connect them, and how you're able to work them through that purchasing journey with you. Trust me, this is huge because sometimes, you want to build that momentum. You want to build that excitement. You want to build that confidence, not only in the minds of your audience, but also because you start making the money, you start selling out from within, from you, right? Now, when you're able to see clearly how you're able to connect with these people, where you need to build your tent, what platforms you need to build your tent, what kind of messages are you pushing out, you're able to have like this clear view of what it is. Now it becomes easier to communicate your transformation, the solution that you have for your audience. Now, you not only have like this clear expectation and all of that, it becomes easier for you to sell out on all of those offers. So you see, that's basically what your sales funnel is all about, right? Your sales pages, your this, your that. It's just, one of the missing pieces, right, of your sales funnel. You want to, as much as possible, understand what this is so you're able to get the best out of it. I always say this in all of the trainings that I find myself in. The goal behind your sales funnel, 2 things, right? To be able to get to understand your audience better, and as much as possible, you are able to sell out. It's just sales. That's it, right? But you want to be able to figure out how to go about it, right? Your sales funnel, like I said, is going to help you understand your clients, your prospect, what to expect, how to connect with them, what to provide to them, in what way you should provide to them, right? It also helps you in understanding who you truly are. You're able to define who you are and how best to market, right, to your audience. Trust me, having a sales funnel is powerful. Okay. Usually some people would say, no, there's no need you telling me why I need a sales funnel. Trust me. You need to understand the benefits of certain things for you to know how well, right, how important it is in your business, for your business. I listed out some of these benefits, and I tell you, these are just some, right? These are just some, aside from the fact that, if you have, a funnel, because so many of us do have funnels. Some of us do. But now the question is your funnel, is it set up the right way? Is it designed the right way to be able to give you that result that you need? Most times the answer is no. Now, if you've ever designed a funnel for yourself and you're like, you know what, TC, my funnel isn't working, drop one in the chat. No, I'm really serious here because I want to show you what is missing, right, in that funnel so that you're able to fix it and get it working for you. Okay, that's the goal, right? Having a funnel with leaky holes will definitely lead to you having, okay, let me give you an example. So it's like you pouring water, right, in a basket. Nothing is ever going to remain, right? And so you just keep putting all of the energy, keep putting all of the effort, and nothing to show for it at the end of the day. Aside from creating, amazing messages that would speak directly to who you want to target, depending on whatever launch you have going on. I always say this: do not launch unless you have a funnel you're working with. Now, whenever I see this, it's always, oh my gosh, TC, the expense. No, you want to get results, you need a funnel, because your funnel will help you understand the different stages, right, that your ideal client is in their purchasing journey with you. Now, once you're able to understand that, it becomes easier for you to create and deliver relevant content, messages, right, that speaks directly to a certain set of your audience, right? Now, that way, you're also able to provide them with uninterrupted, amazing customer experience. Why? Because you know who they are, you know what their expectations are, you know what they want and how they want it. Now, once you're able to understand this part, it becomes easier to serve them. It's always very confusing when you are serving people you don't know. You end up making mistakes. You end up not because you're not good, not because your offers are not good, but because you don't understand them, they don't understand you. You're just working on an assumption. As at the end of the day, there's just this glitch, right? So you want to be able to figure that out. That's just one of the benefits. Now, I love this part because I'm sure this is what you want to hear, right? You want to be able to qualify and filter and sieve out, those people that are going to waste your time. Service providers, I'm sure you would definitely agree with me. There's so many people that get on a call with you. There's a bunch of time wasters, right? And so some people would even get on a call with you and they're literally talking something outside, like outside of what exactly you have going on. And you'll be like, why did you even, schedule a call with me in the first place, right? If you have a discovery call, most times, if you do not have a funnel, it becomes much more difficult, okay, to filter those bad leads, way before they even get to you. So you want to, as much as possible, figure this out so you're able to focus on the people that want you, focus on the people that need what you have. Now, it's not about, okay, you know what? I need people to buy from me like right now. Okay, sometimes you want to be able to differentiate who your hot leads are, your warm leads, your cold leads. You see, all of these people, right? They're good leads, right? However, they are in the different stages of their purchasing journey with you. Now, how are you able to know who is in the space of a hot lead or a cold lead or a warm lead? How are you able to, connect with them at the stage where they are, provide what they need, how they need it, the content, the offer? How are you able to do it if you don't have a funnel, right? Trust me, selling becomes, it feels like breeze, right? That chilly cold breeze when you just, walk beside the ocean on the beach. That's how it feels like when you have a sales funnel. All right. So you want to, as much as possible, understand that part first as first, right? Okay. So I know, I talked about trying to touch, but if you're an e-commerce business, if you're a service provider, because even if you're an e-commerce business owner, right? But you have a business online, I tell you, there's this power with income diversification. Okay, you make more money. passive income, right? You bring in all of this income, and in no time you're getting your 6-figure, right? So you want to, as much as possible, key into this, right? So this is just an example using your Shopify website. So I was explaining, right, that a simple example or a simple B2C sales funnel might look like, okay, somebody goes to your Shopify website, for example. So now this is not just specific to Shopify website, okay? It could be a Wix website, whatever website you use it, a landing page, okay? It could be a product page. If somebody goes to your website, for example, now the beginning is not your website. The beginning of your, basically where your sales funnel starts, it's not your website, right? It's your traffic generator. Where is this traffic coming from? Now, how did they get to know you? How did they get to hear from you? Is it from your social media posts? Is it from your blog post? Is it from Google search? Is it from, a paid advert you did? Where? Okay, so you get that traffic. So that traffic gets to your website, right? Now, these people obviously are still visitors. They don't know anything about you. They just saw you from somewhere. Now, they could have a clue as to who you are if they're already following you on social media. However, most of the time, we still tag them as visitors because they're still getting to know you, right? So now they click on the link and they're like, all right, this is good. And, you have like this, your pop-up on your website, maybe incentivizing them, first-time buyer or something, or you just different offer. Now it depends on you on how you want to get them to take action, right? Now you have this, and if they are able to want to take that next step with you, depending on how convincing you are, so they could either go follow you through your website, on they could follow you on social media if they're not following you already, or they could just decide to sign up to your list, right? Now, once they sign up to your list, that means something. They become a lead. Okay, now you can walk them through. Yeah, I know that you have email list here, but your list could be your SMS list, it could be your Telegram list, it could be your WhatsApp list. The most important thing is you are qualifying who these people are. So now they've gone past the public scene. Now they've gotten into a VIP space, right? I call your list the VIP space because now these people are interested in what you have going on. And so they've given you their consent to, to build a relationship with them, to nurture them, and all of those good stuff, right? You want to, as much as possible, be sure that you know what these people want, right? Be sure that they're giving you their consent. This is very key. If you want to qualify them, and be sure, and you say to yourself, okay, you know what? I have quality leads, right, in my space. You want, as much as possible, use your double opt-in just so you have your consent, okay? So I said, depending on the contact details they share, you can then take them to that next step. All right, I'm giving you the step, okay? You can then take them to that next step. Usually, once they go into your list, you want to start up with a campaign, right? If it's your email list, you should have a welcome campaign for them, getting them comfortable, getting them, Now, even if that's not how they got into your list, they got into your list because they're interested in a particular offer, but for some reason, they're not able to, a particular product, and for some reason, they're not able to continue. You want to follow them up because now they're on your list. You want to follow them up with a campaign, to win them back, to get them back. We're going to talk about that in another week, all right? But after you're able to interact with them based on like a marketing campaign, SMS marketing, WhatsApp, email, depending on how you want to go about it, you want to start giving to them relevant content. Now I'm going to break this down for you. because you are leveraging on a sales funnel, it becomes easier, right, to curate personalized content that speaks directly to the needs of these people, right? Now, once you're able to do this, selling becomes like ABC to you, right? Because these people need what you want, you provide them with what they want, and boom, right? You just hit the jackpot. It's super easy, okay? Now, from prospect customer, really, you want to even incentivize them more. Because sometimes people are like, you know what, TC, how do I get these people to buy more? Right? That's the power of your sales funnel. You don't just stop. I always say to people, my funnel don't just stop at just sales, right? Because after the one sale, what happens next? What happens to you? Right? It's the consistency in the income, right? You want to get them coming back, buying more. You need that strategy. Your funnel, that's why it's very powerful, because you literally will keep replicating these customers. As long as they still want you, you want to be ready to stay top of mind. You want to be ready to provide them with everything that they need, right? So as much as possible, you want to just, make sure that you have a funnel working for you in your business, okay? I know I talked about sharing with you elements of a sales funnel that works. But before we go into that, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. I'll be looking out for your questions. Better still, just keep dropping your questions in the chat. Once we're done with the training, definitely going to go back and pick it up, okay? Just so we're able to tackle all of your questions. So keep the questions coming, and I will definitely pick it up. So now, talking about, one second, okay. Talking about what you need to get your sales funnel working. I've had people reach out to me, say to me, TC, somebody did this, and I'm not seeing nothing, and I'm not doing this, and it is this. They scammed me. Sometimes it's not anyone scamming you. It's just you not understanding that there are basic, specific elements, right, that your sales funnel needs to work. Now, if there is any omission, like in this are like the 4 basic, like literally, if your sales funnel doesn't have anything, you should have all of this, right? Now, if any one of this is missing, sometimes, right, you always get that feedback. Sometimes you always get that rant. So somebody, you can have your sales page, your landing page, your website, it can't function on its own. It's like you're saying, I buy a car. You don't put gas in it, you don't put fuel in it, you don't put anything in it, and you just park it in your garage and expect it to work. How is that? Not drive itself, right? Unless you're going to use the self-driving car, but you know what I'm talking about, right? It needs something to work. Hence the need for your engaged audience. And I use the word engaged audience, right? Because for you to have a successful launch, right? For you to have a sales funnel that works, your excited, super pumped up audience is very important. There is no way your sales funnel is going to work if there is no traffic, right? You literally, I think I have to just briefly go back. Let me show you something. So you see this picture here, right? There's so many pictures like this, right? But you see this picture here, having all of these people jumping, right? You need the traffic. For your sales funnel to work, you need that traffic. And not just the traffic, you need engaged audience. People that are excited, like they're already waiting for you. That's one easy way to get your launch sell out. Now, if people are not expecting what you have, Who is going to buy it? No one is going to buy it. And your product, your service is not going to sell itself. Your knowledge, you're just going to have your knowledge. It's just going to be you and yourself that know that you're that good. Nobody else will, right? So you need the engaged audience, okay? Because this engaged audience tap into your landing page, right? Now let me break this down for you. Most times we think, or we have this misconception that funnels are landing pages or sales pages, and no, they're just hosts that carries your offer. So even if you have an amazing landing page, well designed, but your offer is not clearly communicated, right? You're not able to communicate the transformation your product or your service is providing to this super pumped up audience, nothing's gonna happen. They're just maybe just going to find their way to your list, some, but nothing's gonna happen. You're not gonna make that sale, right? So it is like your irresistible offer, properly communicated, properly structured, is as good as, you paying attention to it. It's as good as you paying attention to your landing page. It's as good as you paying attention to your traffic generator. Where is it? Blog posts? Is that where you're getting your traffic from? Is it paid? Is it organic? Social media? What platform? Right? You want to be able to, it's the different piece, right? And then you bring this different piece together to make one whole unified bunch. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, now I love the automated marketing campaign. That's like very intentional. I had to put that because if you want to set your business on autopilot, that's basically one of the benefits you get from having a sales funnel, right? I personally, right, I have twin boys. I laugh when I always talk about it. I have twin boys, very active, and they always give me a reason to want to exercise, even when I don't want to, right? Now, they keep your life very active. Sometimes fun, sometimes not too fun, because you have to go around. Like, I literally had my episode of Back in Fort Hospital. I think that's like about last week, right? We just literally finished the whole episode yesterday, right? And life happens. Even if you don't have kids, life happens. Now, when life happens, doesn't mean your business stop existing. Think about it. Your clients still want you. They still want to hear from you. Your audience still want to hear from you. You want to stay top of mind because with online space, that's the trick, right? Hence the need for automating your marketing campaign. Now, this can be your email, it could be your email, it could be your what's the name again? Your SMS, it could be WhatsApp, it could be, it could even be your social media, right? Automating your marketing campaign is key. So as to literally put your entire business on autopilot, let your business make money for you, right? That's one of the benefits of having a sales funnel, right? So once you have these 4 elements, trust you would love and enjoy running a business, right? Especially online. Okay, so yes, that's the first segment, right? Yeah, that's the first and second segment. Let me know if you have any questions. Keep dropping your questions in the chat. I see them all, but I want to be able to have designated time for your question. Now, if you want the secret to unlocking, consistent 6-figure launches, you want to transition from being a 9-to-5 amazing professional to being a full-time entrepreneur, you're scared. You're not sure if it's time. Now, take this 1-minute quiz to discover how to launch your offers to a hot list of ready buyers. It's a quiz, right? This will just help you figure out what stage you're in. Are you ready? Because I always like to say this to my clients, you want to be ready, right? You want to be ready, whether it's really no perfect time to launch. However, once you're able to tick, all of the things, check, now okay, you know what, TC, I can do it. Let me take that step. So that's basically what the 1 minute quiz is all about. Now, we're going to how you want to make money. The different business, literally, even if you don't like this, you need this funnels ASAP in your business. Like, even if you're saying to me, okay, TC, there are 3, which one do I start from? But you will decide once I'm done, right? Okay, so I have 3 for you. So there's so many funnels, because depending on what your goal is, you need to design a funnel that that will help you achieve your goal. Okay. You want to be able to design a funnel that will help you achieve your goal. However, if you're starting off, right, you can, start off with this. This will help you at least start growing your business, start scaling your business, to 6 figures. Then every other one can just come with the flow, right? I love the lead generation funnel, live event funnel, high ticket funnel, because I'll say to you, both e-commerce, service providers, we all need a lead generation funnel, because you're not going to sell to yourself. Your product and your services are not going to sell to you're not going to sell to yourself. You're not going to use what you're providing. Hence the need for quality leads. People that are ready, waiting, super pumped up, waiting for you, right? For you to launch that offer, for you to launch that product, that service. Hence the need to design for yourself a lead generation funnel. Your live events funnel, obviously, this is for service providers, right? Services-based businesses. This is where basically you have your webinar funnel, workshop funnel, your life challenge funnel. So if you are a health and wellness coach or consultant, if you are insurance, if you are entertainment, if you are event planning, entertainment, health awareness, in real estate, you want as much as possible tap into your live events funnel, right? I love those challenges. Trust me, they help you not only create and diversify your offers, it also helps you in streamlining your sales cycle, the sales process. It works like magic, trust me. I'm just going to pause with that. Now, if you're like me that love the high ticket thing, so really now, I'm going to share this with you. Sometimes some people would say, oh, I don't like high ticket because it's demanding. Well, that's why it's a high ticket, right? Because sometimes some people, that's why it's important, right, for you to have a funnel, because you're able to decide where exactly people are in their journey with you. Now, some people need extra attention, that VIP attention. Don't leave them behind. Okay, take advantage of it. That's what your high tickets is about. Just giving, extra attention, one-on-one attention, and extra experience, and all of that. And it works. And so if you want to scale, you want to think about it too. For people that want the extra, give them extra, right? So this is just a breakdown of what your lead generation funnel looks like. Like you have it, right? This is just a simple, I literally just drew this pencil, my notes, my notes, and I'm like, what, let me just scribble something, so you can see what this looks like real time. So it's not picture, it's me writing, and that's my beautiful handwriting, You like. All right, so benefits basically, right? For your lead generation funnel, the goal behind this funnel is to help you generate quality leads, right? That's the goal, generate quality leads. Leads that are hot leads, hot list of quality leads, people ready, waiting to just tap into your offer. So with this particular funnel, you're going to be preparing your audience, building that momentum, building that relationship. You're blowing up your awareness, your presence online, the interest of these people, just blowing it up, right? That's basically what that's basically what your lead generation looks like. Your lead generation funnel is for, right? It helps you understand better your target market. It helps you understand better who you want to serve, who you are as a brand, as a business owner, right? It helps you in building that hot list, right? Because you need it if you're going to launch. All right. So you need it, whether e-commerce, whether service, you definitely need this. So, you know, the space where I have your landing page, it could be your product page if you're an e-commerce business, right? But you want to, as much as possible, leverage on the double opt-in, right? This is very important. Your double opt-in, your offer structuring, and your sequence, your follow-up sequence, right? This is very key. Because for your double opt-in, you know, if people don't give you their consent, right? Most times you always find your emails, especially in the spam. Now, if you're using your SMS list, that's also very tricky. If people don't give you their consent, they definitely you should be waiting up for the block and repeat. And that's very risky to your IP, risky to your domain, because your domain can be blacklisted. Your IP can be blacklisted. Okay, so you want to be very careful with that. You know, I talked about the live event funnel. I love the webinar funnel. You know, your challenges that you have, your 3-day challenge, 5-day challenge. You know, these are like money droppers. Like they'll literally bring in the money, right? They bring in the money, they bring in the ideas, they bring in the revenue, they bring in the offers, right? And they get you understanding your audience better. Now, you want to be sure that you want to be sure as much as possible that, you know, your webinar funnel, your webinar is basically what your audience wants. So if you have an audience that is, you know, more interactive, you know, they love it live, you can have it live. Now, this, once done, right, and you have like proof, social proof, testimonials, you can have it evergreen. Set it up as an evergreen funnel. You know why? So that, you know, it can just make money for you on autopilot. I've had, you know, 5-day challenge launch funnels that basically bettered courses, right, from a 5-day challenge. Because yes, your typical course doesn't have to be 10 modules or 5 modules, right? You're gonna have a course of 3 modules, right? Because trust me, the more accessible, right, the more your course is able to communicate clearly, right, the better. So you want to, as much as possible, tap into this. Okay. Your 5-day challenge, obviously, you need plan, you need your offer. Timeline is very key if you're doing challenges, right? Let me just pause there because there's something I need you to know. If you've ever done, if you've ever created a lead magnet before, doesn't matter what lead magnet it is, right? Share with me in the chat what lead magnet you're using now, because your lead generation funnel needs that. Okay, remember, this would help you in qualifying your leads. This would help you in getting, your ideal client's contact information, so you're able to sell them something and all of that. And your leads can be anything and everything that is relevant, that is valuable and useful to your audience. Okay, so you want to, as much as possible, put that into consideration. Okay. I was talking about, hold on, let me go back. Okay. Yeah, I was talking about your live events funnel. Okay. You can have them, be your webinar, it could be your workshop, it could be your 5-day challenge, right? But as much as possible, know that the goal, right? The goal is to help you get quality leads to a certain offer, right? Usually the goal behind this particular funnel is to make sales, right? It's not just the leads. Yes, you're going to get the leads, but you want to sell the lead, sell something to your leads, right? So you're taking them somewhere. Okay. Now I have the high ticket funnel. This is super easy, right? You just need simple things: your landing page or your sales page. You need your thank you page. So you need your thank you page, your landing page, so it's super easy. Remember, your high ticket funnel should be as simplified as possible. It should be very simple, straight to the point, no too much talk, because the people that are ready to pay, all they need is conviction that you can deliver on whatever your offerings are, right? And I love this high ticket funnel because basically it weeds out all of, people that can't pay, people that can't afford your high ticket offers, right? It just clears them out, weeds them off. And so when you're creating, that impact, you're not feeling overwhelmed getting people to get on a call with you. They're not able to pay for the offering, right? So you want as much as possible. If you have a high ticket offer or package, know that you need a high ticket funnel, right? So that you don't waste your time. You help people manage their expectations, and you get what you need, right? Which is the right people paying into your offering. Yes, so we're just gonna round up with this, right? Recommended tools. There's so many amazing tools for your sales funnel. You have you can use funneling softwares like ClickFunnels. There is FG Funnels. There is GrooveFunnels. There's Lead Pages. There is HubSpot's Build, amazing funnels, right? If you have a cloud-based email marketing platform, you can also build your funnels within, right? They're amazing platforms, but remember, you want to make sure that the tool that you use it on is cloud-based, right? It has it's highly compactable, right? It's able to you're able to integrate it to whatever other various platforms or tools that you use, right? Most importantly, it is user-friendly, right? With the interface, user-friendly. You want to also check the customer support. That's a big one for me as well, right? You want to check the customer support. You want to check the customer support as much as possible. Okay, so thank you so much. I think I still see, hold on. Yeah, so let me know if you have any question. I can share more of the tools with you if you're very specific with what exactly you want to work with and what your budget is, right? Thank you so much, everyone, for participating actively to this workshop. In this workshop, I'm TC, and I will check in on all of your questions right now. Thank you so much.
All right, TC, you dropped a lot of complex, dense gems on us. Kudos to everybody that has been in this session, digesting this, writing notes about this, taking it in. I know that this was one of the more dense sessions, and these are important. Again, we're talking about bending but not breaking in the middle of a recession. And what TC is teaching you is not just the marketing, right? But the sales piece. Hey, beautiful, how are you? Uh-oh, you're on mute, mama.
Okay, I'm great. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay.
All right, CC, so I'm gonna flip questions to you. They're a good bit, and we'll try to blitz through these pretty quickly because y'all, we have one more session to end the day, and then y'all are free to go to the booths and like kick it with your homies, kick it with your biz besties. But I'll flip the first question on stage, TC, and this one is from Amber Hurt, and she asks, what is your advice to get over the thought of sending out too many emails and potentially losing people?
Segmentation. So here's the thing, right? Pardon me if you have this echo. I'm actually in the hospital. But
Are you okay? Are you okay? Because we're gonna have to stop it now.
I'm good now. I'm good now. So
Black woman, you sure? Are you sure, Black woman?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so you want to, as much as possible, segment. So that's where your sales funnel comes into place. Because as people work through your funnel, right, they your funnel sieves them out, right? And so you're able to meet them where they are. Now, with so many emails, your definition of so many emails is because you're sending everyone the same thing. Now, with segmentation, with segmenting your list, what happens is you are creating personalized content for these people, right? And now there's really nothing like too much emails for people that want to consistently hear from you. Now, if you say to me, TC, TC, some people maybe, I'm sending maybe 3, 4, 5 emails. I tell you, if you have a launch, right, like a serious launch, you wouldn't want to send just one email. Now, not everyone is interested in that particular launch. That is why once you're able to highly segment your list, it becomes easier to figure out who are the people that needs this particular content, this particular offer, so that you're able to, target those emails to those people, right? And so there is really no such thing. I tell you, people that want to hear from you, I have people saying to me, TC, like, you need to keep sending me these reminders. I'm super busy, right? Now, some people are like, you know what? I don't want to get too many of these emails. Have them in another segment. Have a special space for them. So you're not releasing them out. What you're doing is creating a VIP special space just for them.
All right, TC, that was amazing. But let me tell you something. I can't in good conscience keep going and see these things in your hand and stuff. So I'm gonna need you, friend.
I'm gonna use this hand.
Listen to me. No, friend. I'm gonna need you, Black woman, to make sure that your cup is full. Okay. And we good. We got your information. I promise you, we got your freebie. It's in the app already, it's in the lounge already with the button that says download freebies. But what is most important, Black woman, is you taking care of yourself, because you're not a martyr. Like, we got you. We're gonna protect you at all costs. We're gonna pray for you right now. We're gonna love on you. We're gonna wish you well mending, but we good. We got you. I promise. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but I'm actually hopefully going to be discharged today, though.
All right, well, you rest now. Okay, we're gonna DM you, y'all. That's TC.obm. Okay, DM her and send her a whole bunch of love because she needs it. All right, love you, mama. Bye. All right, cool. So we're gonna keep this rolling, okay? Because these are good questions. So I hope that the segmentation piece made sense. A natural question for somebody should be, how do I segment? How do I segment? And I want you to go into your email marketing platform. So whether it is MailChimp or Flowdesk or all the other ones that exist, right? Kartra, all these things, Kartra, not Kartra, Kartra or Thrivecart. And there are these things called tags, right? So you can tag people based on their behaviors, right? For instance, everybody that's here at the summit has a Blaze Virtual Summit Summer 2023 tag, right? And that just allows us to only send summit-related emails to you all and not bother the rest of the folks, right? So segmentation is what she just described. Very good answer. Love that. We have a few more minutes, and so I'll cipher through these questions. Alexis Miller, if you hear me, I would love for you to raise your hand and come to the stage to help me tag team these, because you're actually really, really good with marketing. No pressure if you don't feel like it though, but if I see your hand raised, I'll bring you up to help answer these questions. So the next question comes from Winnie, and she asks, do you gravitate more to all-in-one platforms, oh, I love this, or prefer to keep elements of your sales funnel separate? The scale is a word, right? Scale is a word, scale is a word, scale is a word, scale is a word. And so we know that growth equals the increase in your revenue, but it has no indication that your expenses aren't also increasing, right? And if you are growing in your revenue and your expenses and your time spent and your resources and your people keep growing, you are not scaling, Black woman, right? But scale means you increase your revenue without an equal increase in your expenses or your time, etc. And the all-in-one platforms give you that leverage. Why? Because you can have one software cost per month that does not go up based on your activity. And if you can replace 5 other tools, a lot of people use Wix in this way, for instance, right? If you can replace five other tools with one tool, then of course that's scale, right? Of course that is more productivity, more ROI, more benefit from one platform. And so I would say as much as you can find that, the better. Now, not everybody does everything, right? And so you don't want to use crappy things just because, but you got to figure out how to, this is a big word, okay? But how to simplify your tech stack, because paying for 30 subscriptions is not sustainable. What's up, Alexis? Thank you for joining me, Mamacita.
I was actually going to piggyback on that. You want to get one tool that is going to be efficient in what you do. That can do it all. HubSpot is a good one. MailChimp is a good one. Those are really good for beginners. And then kind of also piggybacking on what Casey said, the segmentation is the tagging. That takes it's the client journey, excuse me. That's what I was trying to say. And that's the journey through once they come from wherever, whether they're coming from meeting you in person or coming from your social media, coming from your website, that's the journey that client is going on. So that will, making sure that that's in place will alleviate them being bombarded with a bunch of emails.
Ashe, thank you, Alexis. And I'm flipping another one to you. Y'all, this is community, right? When you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Love you, Alexis. All right, so this one, Alexis, is coming from China. And then she asks, should you have more than one funnel per service/product? I apologize if this has been answered already. No, it hasn't.
You want me to take it?
Yep.
No. I think the more streamlined that you are, the more you're able to be effective in how you serve your clients. So no. What do you think?
I agree. One thing that I can't remember what part this was. It might have been on her high ticket funnel page, but it was small, so it might have been easy to see. I agree with Alexis, right? Like you actually want to use upsells and downsells, right? To just efficiently not spend your time to just funnel them where they need to go, right? So let's say you have a high ticket funnel and like meeting, I'm gonna make this up. Meeting with you costs $5,000. It's actually super dope if at some point in that journey, maybe after the inquiry that they send in, you actually show them the real price and say, if you proceed with this, is this. And then you give them 2 buttons. These are call to action buttons. And you say, if you're ready to book a call now, click this button and those qualified leads book the call. And then you can say, not in your price range right now. And you actually give them the course, right? Or you actually give them the, less expensive resource, the tool, the templates, etc., right? That's no involvement from you, but that sales funnel like exactly like Alexis said, right? It's one sales funnel, but it actually points people in the direction they need to go. And then you can do automatic tagging. Whoever does this, you tag them as whatever. Whoever does that, you tag them as whatever else. So I agree with that. Upsell, downsell is what that's called. We've experienced it, right? And it's worked. I'll give you one more, Alexis, and then we have to go to the very last section of the day. From a fire sister. Go ahead, Alexis.
Super quick. This is another one of those things, like when I was talking about with Jasmine, this is another one of those things where you might want to bring in help. Shameless plug, Miss Yvonne. But note that there are people that make a living off of automation, marketing automation, sales funnels and stuff like that. So I know that we're thinking about the economy and stuff like that, but maybe spend your coins smarter by bringing somebody in that can do something like that for you. That way you're just not chasing these leads, because you're losing money not having these systems in place, right? So, my thought.
Period. And that's exactly what you should do in a recession, right? Think about it. Like, if you're not in your most profitable skills in a recession, that's crazy, right? Like, if you know how to make money or whatever you're doing, connections or whatever that's important, you're losing, like, the ROI is lower than your business because you're tinkering around with stuff you're not good at. Does that make sense? Like, if you spend in like 3 months tinkering with stuff you'll never be exceptional at versus being in your zone of genius, right? And then have somebody come in 2 days, mean it, right? In 2 days and they knock the thing out, right? That's smarter, but that's CEO living, right? Versus being the hardest working employee in your business. Okay. Last one. This one is from Vaniva. If I said your name wrong, I'm so sorry. This one is from Vaniva, and she asks, how could you use AI to create a user-friendly sales funnel? And I'll kick that to you too, Alexis.
Yeah, absolutely. I like literally just how you question that. Go into ChatGPT and ask that same question and be specific. Obviously, create a sales funnel for my X, Y, and Z. That being that specific, and then just giving it to whatever AI chat tool that you utilize, and then having it build it out. And then, of course, you can make the specific edits as you want to, but let AI do the work so that you don't have to. That's what I would say.
Let AI do the work. Put that on the wall. Put that on a sticky note. Love that. Alexis, you're super dope, and I appreciate you pivoted in for the sister who needs to fill her cup today. Love you.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Super dope. Excellent questions. I know that was very dense, as the summers always are, because we want you to be at the front of the line, not the back, Black women. And so I'm very proud of you all for leaning in, for holding on, for staying engaged. We have one more session of the day. This one is called Fine, Fabulous, and Free. And let me just tell you, Shawty knows finance. Do you hear me? So some more money talk. I promised yesterday that we would actually make sure we held space for this pretty frequently in the summit, just because like this is the make or break it in recessions, right? Like we know that, right? So let's hop over. This one is coming from Miss Racine Riker. She is super, super dope. I can't wait for this. And this is ending the day. Okay. See y'all on the other side. Peace.
With my women is fine, fabulous, and financially free. A man is not a plan. Okay, so let me explain that. I was telling the story of how, my first venture into understanding money and, what I consider my financial trauma was having to ask for money from my father, And so I realized that, hey, not saying he wouldn't or couldn't, at the time he just didn't give it to me because he didn't have it. So I've always set the tone for myself that, hey, if I needed anything, I would be the first person I could come to is myself to be able to facilitate that money that I need. So when I came up with this seminar, I was thinking about that experience for myself, that, hey, a man is not a plan. We want to be, the designers of our own lives and be able to put some things in place. But at the same time, understanding the rules of the game. And so our seminar today is The Future is Female. Hey, fine, becoming fabulous, and totally financially free. So as I get started, I want you guys to take notes, plenty of notes. I'll have my contact information at the end, so you can definitely follow up with me. And we're also making sure that all the participants here have an opportunity to sit with me for a 30-minute session, complimentary, because I believe that I can't help you until I see where you are. Okay. No, no opportunity for me to, I call myself always being transparent, of course, for myself, but hey, there's, no judgment on my end. I've been where most of you and most people want to be and have been. And so we're going to grow together. Okay. So as I start, again, take notes, put down your questions at some point. If you want to call me to get those questions answered, hey, I'm here for you. And I hope this will be a great avenue into understanding and putting the pieces together of some financial concepts. So again, I am Racine Reichert. I am a personal financial coach. And so I sit with women of color, women and their families, business entrepreneurs, and I show them how to have fun with finance, because it does not have to be, you don't need a PhD, so to speak, in finance. We can have a public high school diploma. Yes, that works. But you do not need to have an advanced degree to understand some simple rules and context. And so at the end of this session, you guys may start out with what I consider high school diploma in finance. But by the time I finish this evening, you all are going to definitely have, a doctorate in finance. I promise. And you wouldn't have had to pay all that money to go back to school. Okay. So I'm going to keep it really simple. And so this joy that you see on the screen of some ladies, that's what I want you to feel after we finish up. Deal? All right, let's get started. Hey, when we think about finances, think about yourself. Do you fit into any of these categories? Your eyes are bigger than your pocket or your pocketbook. You have no emergency fund and something happens, it sets you back. We all know about those, fridge breaks down, the car breaks down. Our girlfriend wants us to take that last minute trip because see, sometimes that's an emergency. Or they want to go to the club and hang out or go to brunch. Sometimes that's an emergency. I'm speaking for myself every now and then. You have habits, more habits, and then some greater habits. And you make good money, but you have no money left at the end of your month. I've been there. I have been there. I understand it. Me personally, I used to go and take my credit cards to use them as a supplement to my income. And lastly, you are the family's bank and savings. Okay. You give too much away or too much money to your family members. You are the go-to person, whether you want to be or not. You are the go-to person of your family. And normally when they come to you, they literally are having you not alone, but they want you to give it to them in most cases. So yeah, I always say, if you're going to give somebody or lend somebody money, make sure you have the expectations that you're not going to get it back. Otherwise, do not give it away yourself. And so all of these things, you may be in one of these categories, but that's cool. We got some answers today for some of the things to, help out for you. And then we talk about, hey, why women tend to be in situations. We know why women know the rules to the money game or why they don't know them, or should know them. We tend to cook, clean, take care of our kids. We raise our husbands, our significant others. We're caretaker for our parents, which is really significant now in these days and times presently. I am one of those that is the caretaker and the go-to for my father. We tend to retire broke, but I'm gonna start changing the road broke to financially independent. We serve as the counselor, the doctor, the advisor. Outside of our normal roles, we're the everything to everybody. So as a result, I realized for myself, nobody's teaching us the money game and nobody understands the rules of the money game. You can't play the game unless you know the rules. And so here I'm going to make sure I give you at least the foundational rules that will help you move and navigate through so you can make some great changes in your household. Now, we know that there's generational brokenness and we talk about financial trauma. recently I was having a conversation with some good friends, and we talk about physical trauma, we talk about mental trauma, but we don't talk about the financial trauma. A lot of the things that we do and experience and some of the cycles that we are in, it really has a foundation. And so, of course, there's too much to go into today, but hey, just think about where you are now financially and some of the things that have changed your dynamics when we're talking about money and finance, okay? Think about some habits we were taught as kids. I talked about how my first experience with money was not having my father give me an additional amount of money so that I could go on a trip, and I end up leaving on that trip without asking for that money again. And I end up really getting a bad experience as I went through on that trip and not having any money. And when you're out of town as a 8 to 10-year-old and you're in an environment that you're not familiar with, that to me was my trauma. Think about also what instructions were you given about money. Literally, we went to elementary school, middle school, high school, and only thing that I remember is home ec. And in home ec, we did not talk about money. I think we did learn how to balance a checkbook, just maybe one time, okay? And then did people purchase items on credit? And as I navigated to my career, I remember I got paid once a month. And so by the time the end of the month rolled around, I had no money. So what did I do? I started using credit cards to balance out that money. And so we also talk about women are some of the world's biggest spenders, whether it's the new Louboutins, whether it's the new Brahmin bag, whether it's just really hanging out on the weekends, every weekend. We are the biggest spenders. And you all think about some of those reasons why we are. We can really give people our money, but saving it and putting it away for future so that we can really do the things we want to do and not the things we have to do. All right. So as we face unique challenges, think about a couple of things. Our earning power. All right. How much money will make so much of a unique difference for us, and we are in different careers now. And unfortunately, women are paid nickels, to the dollars that most men are going to receive. And we're smart, probably as smart as they are, but we are paid less. And then we're talking about career moves. Sometimes we change careers, change jobs, etc. Sometimes we're in positions, we're raising families and maybe can't, complete educational things, our degrees, etc. But, outside of that, the things we want to do and move forward, we have those opportunities. It's just making sure that we're getting them so we can make the money we need to live and have a lifestyle or a life balance, as they say. And then we talk about life expectancy. We're going to talk about that in a second, that women tend to live longer than men. And lastly, more importantly, what shoes we wear or need to wear with an outfit, okay? So that's really the most unique one out of all four, all right? So we talked about life expectancy, and women can expect to live about 16 years more after the age of 65. But then the men in our lives can expect to live about 11 years after the same 65 years old. So with that said, we're living longer. And as we live longer, that means we need more income based on our life expectancy, okay? So the statistics are already there. They're already in place. So the reasons we definitely must change. Yeah, we live longer than men. And at some point, we're going to be by ourselves, hopefully, not too much sooner. And knowing that we're going to live longer, we got to make better decisions about our money. So we have something called a financial independence number, and I'm going to call it the FIN number for right now. That number tells me how much do you need to have saved based on when you want to retire and to have that amount of money available to you so you can have the same lifestyle that you have now, okay, later on. If you're 30 years of age or older and you aren't fully funding your Roth IRA, chances are you're going to retire dead broke. If in fact you are able to retire, that's significant. The big word if. There's still some 75-year-old, 80-year-old people working, not because they just want to, but because they have to. And so as a result, a disproportionate amount of women in poverty retire without money. So the goal is not to have you in that position. And all it is just tweaking and making some decisions now so that you'll have some repercussions later that would be a benefit to you. A growing voice. Let's talk about a few statistics. And I don't want to bore you with some, but I think it's important for us to hear, hey, what is actually going on around us? But 44% of women in the US report themselves as a primary breadwinner in their household. 31% of the women do not have enough disposable income so they can do the things they want. So that is keeping them from moving forward, especially toward their financial goals. And then we have millennial women in the US, 53% say they have started saving retirement compared to 71% of millennial women, okay? Maybe that retirement, or I'm sorry, when I say 71%, it should be, instead of millennial women, it should be baby boomers, okay? So we've got to look at the numbers wherever you are, whether you're a millennial, baby boomer, Generation X, Z, or Y. The goal is we got to do some better things financially. So what does freedom mean to you? I always ask this question because we talk about, and I think sometimes it's a cliche when we talk about becoming financially independent. To me, that's a blank phrase. And I say it as a blank phrase because financial independence is truly different for everybody, all right? Some of you may say, I want to be financially free so I can travel the world without having to worry about money. I want to be able to buy the things that are important to me, whether it's a new car or a new house. Some people say being financially free means I can spend time with my family, my friends, and that's where I get my joy. But we can do it and be able to spend the time where we can spend the money and not worry about it. Some of you may say, I want to be, a philanthropist. I want to be able to donate to charities that I can really make a difference. And there are those who say, hey, I want my life to be my own. I don't want to do nothing. I want to just concentrate on the hobbies that are important to me. Whether it is, again, some hobbies are traveling. Some hobbies are that you may collect cars. Whatever that is, your freedom and the definition, whatever it is, it always has to have a game plan so that, hey, you can achieve it. And I always not have people put their game plan or their goals into a box. I want them to increase that box and widen it, and there's some things we can do to make sure that we can increase it. Also, in the business world, the playing field isn't always level, unfortunately. I remember working in corporate, and I haven't worked in corporate since 1994. But I realized that, hey, that glass ceiling was really, blocking me from moving me where I wanted to go. We're talented, we're educated, we're energetic, just as well as men are, but often fewer opportunities to upgrade and move forward financially and, in our careers. Women in the workplace, we tend to stay on those jobs a typical tenure of 4.5 years. Part of that may be because we're leaving the job to care for kids. Sometimes we're just leaving jobs because they're not where we want them to be. Lifestyle balance, or what we call work-life balance. Most pension plans, however, only vest or you become truly invested into that plan after 5 years. So if we're not working there for that time frame, we're losing out. So we're leaving retirement dollars on the table every time we leave a job or change jobs. And on average, we take about 12 years off to take care of family. And I am seeing more of the women and, that I'm working with that are having elderly parents that they have to actually take care of as well. So compared with less than 2 years for men, who typically you don't see them taking the time off to go take for, we call them home dads, I believe. They may not necessarily do that as much. As changing, the dynamics are changing, but women are taking care of their kids, they're taking care of their parents, and I can attest to that for sure. As I'm starting, I want to help you guys build your financial house. The first part of building your financial house is making sure you have what we call life insurance and income protection. And a lot of times we don't like to talk about that, but it is important when we're talking about building our financial house. So I have a test that I give everybody, and I ask a couple of questions. If you died tomorrow, would your church have to take up a collection? If you didn't know anything about our community, you know that this is extremely prevalent. In fact, most churches, because of this, have actually depleted their resources because they've been having to give it to, the people in community because they didn't have the life insurance. They didn't have a financial covering to make sure that they move forward. So they're taking care of those families. If you died tomorrow, would your family have to pass the bucket or start a GoFundMe account? Of course, you've seen a number of those on Facebook, etc. And unfortunately, if most of you didn't know, GoFundMe was not originally set up for that. It was really started more for investment and saving money or raising money for investments, for businesses, okay? And then third question, how long would your insurance cover your current income for your family if you died? You typically get small policies, 10 or 25 or 50. And the excuse is, I just want enough to bury me by. But most people are not thinking about the kids that are going to be left behind, because before you left and before God took you home so early, you were making 50, 75,000 a year, and your family used that income to take care of you. So if you're gone, 10,000 is not going to take care of that 5-year-old or that 15-year-old, etc. And then last question, do you have at least 250,000 minimum in a life policy outside of your job? We're not even talking about, for those who are entrepreneurs, having a life policy in place. We call them, key man policies. That is another separate opportunity for you or entrepreneurs to make sure that that's in place, because not only for your personal family having a policy, but for those who are entrepreneurs, you need something in place so that if you don't show up to your business, the business can transition as if you were there. I've had that happen so much for a number of clients who are entrepreneurs that left here, early from life. And so their business didn't have a transition in place, or they transition effectively because they have that key man policy in place. So this is what I call Jamal and Sarah and their daughter, Jamaya. And so each of them here, this is the actual client, but I've did this for privacy, changed, their names. And so both of them bring home $3,500 a month. That's about $7,000. That money is taking care of mortgage, cars, insurance premiums, credit cards, utilities, groceries, and more importantly, childcare. But unfortunately, if Jamal doesn't come home, hey, those bills, all of those things are still in play. You still got to pay the mortgage. You still got to pay for the car note. You got to pay the credit cards, utilities, and more important, childcare and groceries, okay? So with that said, we want to make sure that even if the breadwinners are not there, you can transition and move forward as if they both are there, okay? If this happened to your family, what will your family lose? That's an important question. We aren't thinking about that. And so as we move forward, when I'm sitting with clients, I am doing what I call the dime piece theory, okay? And it just tells how much should you have in life coverage. And so we have never been taught to calculate exactly how much coverage we should have in place outside of your respective jobs, okay? So we have something called the DIME, and the acronym DIME. The D stands for debt. So if there's husband and wife, in this example, they have 50,000 of coverage on the husband, or I'm sorry, 50,000 annual salary, the husband makes a year, and the wife makes 40,000 annual salary. So when we calculate their coverage, we start with the debt. They had 25,000 of debt. So I made sure that, hey, I put that as both of them as a start to calculate the coverage. So in this column, I'm putting the debt respectively because both of them got to pay each other's debt off if something happens. The I in DIME stands for income. And what I do is take 10 times their salary to calculate how much should be enough to take care of. If anything happens, their annual salary will come into them for at least 10 years, okay? So husband has 500,000 based on his salary, and the wife has 400,000, okay? So far, so good. The M in DIME stands for mortgage balance. So in this case, their mortgage balance is 100,000. So I've added that in the total because, hey, it would be great if something should happen to either one of them, they can pay the mortgage off and the surviving spouse will still have a roof over their heads. Make sense? And then E stands for education. So typically for going to a private university, it's really about 137,000 real-time number for a 4-year degree, okay? And then if you're going to send them to a public school, you can expect 50 to 80,000. So I use 80,000 here. So that will take care of room and board for 4 years, okay? And a little extra money for incidentals. So adding that up, you see that the total that's necessary, keeping the numbers simple, the husband need 705,000, really almost $1 million in coverage. And then the wife in and of itself, she needs at least 605,000. This is actual numbers for that particular client. So when I sit down with someone, I'm actually doing this calculation for you, and I give you 3 options to actually make sure you get the coverage that you need. And I typically do a level term policy so that we can cover everything and make sure that you have enough face amount so that, hey, the family doesn't have to worry about a thing, okay? So far, so good. So far, so good. So your plan for tomorrow, because we don't know what's going to happen. I make sure that, hey, you put a plan in place in case you leave here too soon, but I'm also showing you how to save later in case you live too long. But either way, you should have a game plan and we have something in place and discuss it. While nothing can replace a spouse, that term policy will protect you. Right? And as a leaving thought on this section, a wise woman leaves an inheritance for her children's children. Of course, we know Proverbs 13:22. Next level of building our financial house is making sure we have our estate plan in place. That's our wills and legal protection. So, thought questions. If you died today, who would get your personal possessions? Secondly, who will your family be fighting over for your money and possessions? And I know some people say, Racine, did you really have to add that question in there? But I promise you, I've seen a number of funerals and the things that are going on, and it's just unfortunate. You say it'll never happen. I've seen some things that I thought would never happen, So part of this will and testament is to help make sure that there are instructions. And then where would your children go? Most people say, well, it'll automatically go to my husband or automatically go to my wife or automatically go to my mom. That ain't necessarily also the rule and written in stone. Can you all see my face? Okay. Would your loved ones, last question, know what to do next? That's the most important question. I can't tell you and stress to you the deer in headlight moment that happens when the breadwinners in a family leave here. I mean, it is not only traumatic in and of itself, the grief, you can't even begin to think when you're going through that. And I'm sure some ladies out there can relate to what I'm saying, you know, that you've experienced it personally, whether it's a parent or a spouse. It is truly a devastating, a situation when you're in it, and you can't really be thinking about a whole lot. So that's why, having someone like myself as a financial advisor actually helps you transition until you can really make decisions later. Okay? So when we talk about estate plan, it's some simple terminology. You can become what we call intestate. You don't have anything at all. Some people say, well, I don't have any assets. If you got a car, you got assets. There's the power of attorney. There's the financial and the medical powers of attorney. Who's going to make financial decisions for you if you're incapacitated, you're in the hospital, or who's going to make medical decisions about, your life, taking you off life support, etc. If you have jointly held assets, what happens then? Contracts, living trusts, and of course the overall instructional pages. I call it the last love letter that you'll ever leave. That's your last will and testament again. As we building our financial house, we're coming to the next level. And after the wills and debt legal protection, there's the debt management part of it. Now, I know some of you all say, I don't have any debt, but for those who do, just blink your eyes a couple of times, okay? I'll know who you are, right? So we have the causes of debt. And so I look at that, and there's so many myriad reasons for it, but just some of the simple ones is failure to exercise self-control. Now, I am one of those people when I go into Walmart, and I love going into Walmart, but when I go into Walmart, I make a beeline to the clearance section. I mean, I may not need a thing, but I am going to the clearance section at Walmart. And when I go, I just know there's something on that shelf that I gotta have for later. So I end up becoming a hoarder. Okay, that's my story about self-control. Okay, I'm sure some of y'all have that, going to Dillard's, going to Macy's, whatever the story is, I understand. Okay, low self-esteem. You'd be surprised. A lot of times we get into debt because we're going through, we call shopping therapy, retail therapy. And so a lot of times when we're having some bad situation we'll go shop and use our credit cards as a way of relieving whatever that stress item is. We're overpaying for basic items. I know we typically charge going to the grocery store. I've heard some people say, hey, I'm getting points for it, whatever. But when you're doing that and not paying it off in 30 days, that interest adds up, and those eggs truly become expensive, outside of the cost going up and inflation. We're desiring to keep up with the Joneses, and I can be transparent here and I can say I've been there. I've had where I've seen my girlfriends got the best bag, etc. And I want to have the same bag. So I end up going out and getting that bag, my own version of it. And so we end up doing some crazy things just so we can be popular, okay? Or be seen. And then output is more than your input. Now, we know that, hey, we're not necessarily making the money we want to make. We're just trying to pay Peter to pay Paul, okay? And so as a result, we're calling that caught in the credit card trap because we are using it to make up for the income we don't have. All right. So that means Amex, Visa, MasterCard, and Discover becomes our best friend. So I've set what we can become and set up a budget. Okay. I don't really like the word budget. I'll call it, planning. Okay. And planning for 30 days. And so the average plan of your income, 50% should be of living essentials. That's the rent, transportation, insurance, food, and utilities. The other 20% should be financial goals. They should be also the debt reduction, savings, and investments. And 30% should be flexible spending. These are things that you just want to buy, you don't necessarily need them. Now I'm gonna go back for a minute. Of that total amount, when we're talking about, the flexible and spending at 50, make sure you allocate 10% for charity, or tithing and giving at some point. I think that's a great foundation for your plans. All right. Remember, we wanted to be philanthropists at some point in our lives or in our financial, game plan. One of the ways that I'm helping families get rid of debt is doing debt stacking. So this is an example. We have them here. They have a number of credit cards and a mortgage and spending $2,700 a month. Well, with debt stacking, you just start with one bill at a time and pay them off. Again, this is just one opportunity to become debt free. So once I pay off that first bill, I am now going here to the second bill and I'm going to pay it off as well. So that money I will put toward the second bill, the credit card number 2. And as I pay it off, I'm doing the same thing. Sorry about that. So as I'm paying it off, I'm going straight to the next bill and I'm going to literally just pay it off. Okay. And so forth and so on. So after I pay off that last credit card 1, that money that I have left over, I'm putting it toward the mortgage. And when I finish paying that last bill off, including the mortgage, in this example, I've paid the credit card and off. If I didn't do it, it'll be 23 years to pay it off if I didn't do the debt stacking. And I paid close to $214,000 a month in interest. Or I'm sorry, $214,000 in interest overall. But doing this debt stacking, instead, I've paid it off in 9 years or 14 years sooner. And I've saved over $130,000 in interest. So the goal is to make your money work smarter, not harder. Okay. And so most people say, hey, I'll never be able to save because I got so much debt. Well, this is the answer. So once all the debt is paid off, I'll put that $2,700 into a mutual fund averaging about 9%. And by the time you're 67, that's $2.4 million saved. So I joke with some people and I tell people, you remember the show where you either married, you ate worms and you get $1 million, or you married, some crazy person, they'll pay you $1 million. Well, I won't have you do all that. We'll just start here with the debt stacking and some other things I'm gonna show you. And as we're building that financial house, we've gone over the life coverage as your foundation. We talked about your estate plan. We talked about you eliminating your debt. But now let's talk about saving or investing. There is a difference. So investment tests. Remember, I'm always giving you tests of understanding. Do you regularly save in an emergency fund? That's the first question. An emergency fund is what you have put aside for a year or less of things that come up, whether it's buying a car, whether it's making sure the fridge breaks, okay? A lot of times I always tell you to have at least 6 to 8 months of your salary in place, okay? Second, do you pay yourself before you pay others and setting aside dollars for the future, all right? Do you have a retirement plan outside of your jobs? We call it, your long-term savings outside of your emergency funds. And do you have an investment plan for accomplishing your goals and dreams? For an example, when my husband and I got married, we had set aside money so that we didn't have to, build a credit card or debt to get, be in debt before our marriage. So we saved up money. And I actually even bartered for a number of things for my wedding. So with that said, we end up spending less than $5,000 for our wedding. And it was a beautiful ceremony, including the food. Isn't that amazing? You know, it's unheard of. And when I hear people spending 20 or 30,000, you know, I'm like, okay, cool, you do you, but I want to make sure I have money, you know, so that I can live after the honeymoon. Okay. We call it the money moon. Okay. So as we start thinking about investing, we talk about the 3 accounts that you need. And these are the 3 complete savings game plans for you. The first one is that emergency fund. That's having an account at least a year or less in place, okay, for incidentals. And then we have short-term savings. You may be saving for a home in 2 to 3 years. That's short-term, 2 to 3 years where you'll need the money. And then we have our wealth building or long-term savings. We call it, again, our wealth building. That's 5 years or longer. And so as I talk about investing, I'm going to share with you a little known banking rule. And I learned this rule in college for an accounting exam because my background is accounting before I became and added financial advising. But it says, if I take the interest rates of the money that you'll be earning and divide it into 72, I can tell you how quickly your $1 will double to $2. So in this example, I'm giving you $10,000. Isn't that cool? Whether I gave you 10, whether I gave you $1, or whether I gave you 100, it doesn't make a difference. It is the same principle. So in this example for 3%, 72 divided by 3 is 24 years your money will double. So our average life expectancy is 48 plus years, right? Hopefully, God willing. So in this example, your money only doubled twice under 3%. And that's typically the banks or less. And 6% is typically money market accounts here or life insurance policies or credit unions. Now, 72 divided by 6 is now every 12 years, your money will double, okay? And so in this case, it has doubled 5 times over the same 48 years. And then most importantly, we talk about the 12% column, which is what we call mutual funds or, professionally investments. And so they average anywhere from 8 to 12% return. So 72 divided by 12 is now 6% that our money will double, or 6 years our money will double. So every 6 years in this example is doubled almost 10 times. So all that I'm sharing with most of potential clients is, let me show you how to move from the 3%, which is where the banks typically have, and move you over to professionally managed savings accounts or mutual funds on this 12% rate side. So far, so good. Again, this is a rule developed by Albert Einstein, who basically was the smartest man in the world, right? I call him the man with the original afro, right? So I learned again this rule for a test in college, but never understood how the practical part of it, etc. Okay. So lastly, we're getting toward the end, and we're literally talking about the cap. And we talked about, hey, understand extra income. And most of you all are entrepreneurs, and you're here really understanding how to make some more money and putting some money aside so you can do all the things that we talked about here. And so we're great entrepreneurs. We know corporate America has failed us, high pressure to perform. Hey, of course, unequal pay, the need to have unlimited income so we can have, more money at the end of our month, etc., than the reverse. We definitely want to have a work-life balance with our kids and family, etc. Okay. So as your next step with the information that I share with you, follow up with an advisor. If not myself, then someone else to help gather your documents, and I'll provide a checklist of some things that I need to see where you are, so that I know how to give you a game plan for the A to the B. schedule that one-on-one with me in the next 24 to 48 hours because, hey, the information I shared is still fresh in your mind. As I had told you or asked you earlier, write down questions and thoughts as you go. So I'm sure those are great questions and great commentary. We'll do a financial game plan to look at where you are for your life insurance needs, also that FIN number, financial independence number, and maybe give you a plan for debt. But the overall thing that I want to do is make sure you have a sense of accomplishment to be able to move you toward A to a B, where B is going to be brave, bold, and beautiful women of financially set and sound. So I hope this is helpful to you. Here's my contact information. I know they'll be sharing that with you throughout the sessions, the next 2 days, etc. And so for listening out for you guys, I look forward to seeing you, in the future, and have a wonderful and gracious day. See you soon.
Racing, you so dope, girl. You so dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You feel like cuz, like the whole talk, you were snatching our edges every step of the way, but you felt like cuz. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, you have tons of questions, so
Okay.
I am going to show them on the stage one by one. And ladies, as a reminder, if you hit the hand button at the bottom of the screen, you can raise your hand and we can bring you on stage to ask Racine the questions live, okay? And then after the session, we're going to see who's at the top of the leaderboard. So I would recommend some folks raise their hands to get some points in there. Okay, Racine. So this question is coming from Gwendolyn, and she asks, can a Roth IRA be structured in a manner where it is not tied to the market?
It can. I always like to tell everybody you want to maximize your money, better than, what the bank is doing. Because remember, there's something called inflation. So a lot of times I know when people say they're not wanting to be tied to the market, is because they're scared of potential fluctuations. That's one reason why, just like you go to a doctor rather than go to Google to get your medical information, we're going to tailor something that's consistent for you. I'm not going to get you into an investment or anything that's going to be, fly by night. So we're going to choose what's comfortable based on your risk. We call it risk tolerance. Or, hey, if you're driving down, if you're in Atlanta, if you've been down I-20, do you want to be in the median, middle, HOV, fast lane on the HOV? Everybody can't be in the HOV, but that doesn't mean you always have to stay in the median. You can meet in the middle. I hope that helps. But yes, definitely can. But we want to try to maximize better than inflation so you can get ahead. Retirement Roth is for retirement, for long term.
Yeah, and that's a good reminder to us that we don't have to be the expert, right? Like you said, like work with an advisor like yourself, and you can structure it how we need it to be. So good. And I'm going to bring a person to the stage for you, Racine. Crystal, the mic is yours.
Hey, Crystal.
Hi there. So the question is around like calculating like how much life insurance. And when I started looking at, I'm like, well, what do I do about salary? So in this situation, even though my business is not, I don't have a regular rate, right, for my year, and I'm currently not working. And so even though that might change, at what point, or at least where do I sit in that space to like decide like what value to use?
Gotcha. I love that question from entrepreneurs. Oh, I love this one. Two ways I'm gonna answer this. Okay. I understand for most entrepreneurs, your income fluctuates. I would take your average income, literally what is your average that makes your household move forward? That's one. And then also add what keeps your business going afloat also. Okay. And so that would be your average annual income. If you have kids, let's say you have a 2-year-old, okay? That means your child will be 16 years before they're needing to be grown and gone. So I would at least do 16 times your salary. at the least do 10 times your salary. For you, Crystal, that means I have enough to manage my business for potentially a year, pay my personal expenses if I don't show up, and my kids are going to be okay. And just like I did that dime, you still can do the dime with your self-employment income, you know, and at the minimum, do 250 for you.
Mhm.
At the minimum. That's a small amount, but that's a start.
Got it.
That's a start.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Crystal.
you.
Mhm.
Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to show one more question on the stage before I bring another person up, Racine. So
Okay.
this question is from Yvonne, and she asks, how does setting up a trust fit into the picture?
Okay. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm kind of giving you some real world experience. Everybody does not need to set up a trust. Okay, let's keep that in mind, because what happens is we don't necessarily have enough assets to do just that. So I work with a number of estate planners because everybody's plan is sort of custom. And I know that may not really truly answer your question in turn, but having a trust means, hey, you got quite a bit of assets, you know, transitioning, you know, not only living, but in your passing, if you have a number of assets, you got young kids, you got a generational transfer that you need, maybe, yes, a trust will be be adequate. But for some people, even like myself, we have multiple businesses, me and my husband. We don't have kids. And the lawyer said, hey, Racine, you guys don't need a trust presently, but we'll structure your will, your love letter, so that, hey, you can transition your families and your assets and your business. One day we will have trust, though. Knock on wood.
Yes, you will.
Mhm.
And Yvonne added a piece to this. She said, should have been specific in saying living trust.
Same answer. Same answer. Some people mistake living trust with the living will. Okay. The living trust is still while you're actually living, they have a trust set up so that, hey, it's still working as if you were, you know, you still have assets that are still functional, etc. And they do that again so that, hey, you can protect it from taxes, gift taxes, etc. And that's mostly where most of the living trusts come into play, you know. But they still, again, you have to make sure that for you, if that's really what you need.
Beautiful. Thank you, Racine. And China, I'm bringing you to the stage. The mic is yours.
Hi. Sorry about all the noise in the background.
You're good. You're good.
So my question is about husband and wives, right? So if they have a separate advisor, how does that work with, I guess, merging or getting one advisor if the husband might have invested time and money with a different advisor? How does that work?
I have that happen quite a bit, more than you know.
Okay.
One of the things I always tell people, I'm gonna answer your question two ways. When you all were married, you became one. Okay. So one of the things I ask you, what is it your ultimate goal as one? Also, I ask you, maybe his advisor, he feels really comfortable and not built a relationship with yours, and vice versa. So y'all may have to come to a meeting of the minds. What is it your advisor is giving that mine can't, and vice versa? Okay. At the worst case scenario, I don't suggest going to find somebody on the outside of those two. You know, maybe to compare, you know, because I tell people I don't know everything, but my clients do stay with me because they built a great relationship with me. And not to toot my own horn and be cocky, but I've won over some husbands in this example that you're saying. I've won over some husbands. I've won over some women's, you know, some women who their husbands came to me way before they got married, and the wife is trying to figure me out. Y'all understand, okay? And they're like, Racine, she cool, she all right. So, you know, I have to be on my lane and say, this is what I can offer you, whether you decide to stay with me or not. You know, and you will lose, they will lose, and I may lose, but at least I'm going to try. But try to find a balance and see what you guys, you know, what one or the other is missing, etc. In my opinion.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your question, China. Awesome question. And I'm going to pivot over back to the Q&A box, Racine. This one is from Christina, and she says, Miss Racine, everything you spoke is truth. What is the best way to approach your loved ones about this important conversation, especially if you're unmarried but a parent?
I'm assuming you're first talking about your kids. And if so, great. If you're talking about your parents, maybe a mother or father that's left, one of the things, you know, it's odd that somebody, as I just had this question asked. Sometimes, like, we had a family function on Sunday, you know, Father's Day. And one of the things we sat down, if I had to go to each individual and pull them as a subgroup of the event, and I just started a conversation, you know. Sometimes we think, well, that's so private, you know, I don't want to get in there. No, okay. If you have to have them come over for wings and Kool-Aid, y'all sit down and y'all have this talk, because it's better to have the talk now. It's uncomfortable. If you don't have it now, afterwards, it's too late. And it's not going to be a woulda, coulda, shoulda. I've been in those situations where they said, we thought we were going to talk about it later. Oh, we put it off because they didn't want to talk about it now. It's so many in our community, you know, that whatever that is, we got to get rid of it. I know that's going to be part of that financial trauma thing, you know, and we talk about everything else. We can talk about The Little Mermaid. We can talk about what Denzel did. What somebody talked about Idris earlier. We can talk about all of that. But honey, baby, your money is the conversation of choice as a start. Because that woulda, shoulda, coulda, that's the worst conversation you want to have after the fact. Been there, done that. I hope that I'm talking from my heart. I'm talking from my heart.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. So the last question, Racine, thank you for being so gracious in your answers as well. This one is coming from Yvonne, and she asks, in debt stacking, do you start with the highest card balance or the lowest card balance?
Start with the credit card that has the highest interest rate. And more often than not, that is the one with the highest balance, typically. To start with the one with the highest credit balance, you know, credit card rate. Definitely.
That's good. All right, Racine. So you have fed us, you have poured into us, you have freebies for us. Y'all check the lobby, the reception area. There's a link to the freebies. Y'all can grab that. It's inside of the app as well. The freebies, you can grab that. But take this and definitely cleave to Racine. She's super dope. Where would you recommend folks find you, Racine?
You can definitely find me Instagram at Racine_Reichert. Website is www.racinereichert.com. We're revamping the site, so just bear with us. I am on LinkedIn. The Reichert Dream Team also is on Facebook as well. So you'll definitely see it in my profile. Love to have you. You can Google me. I just Google myself, you guys.
Two.
I know we were talking about AI earlier, but you can Google me too. Okay.
All right. Well, you are super dope in the way that you take some of the most complex things for anybody in the world and make it so palatable for us and use examples that we understand is brilliant. So thank you so much for pouring the way that you did today. And y'all, she is back actually on day 5 with a panel discussion on beating the recession, and she's combined with some other financial gurus too. So keep it locked for that. Thank you so much, Racine.
All right, appreciate you all.
Thank you. All right, y'all. So we done. That's day 2. Okay, we have absorbed a lot on purpose. Okay, because the goal of this is strategy. Okay, we do a whole lot that feels good, and that's important, right? Anybody that's been in the community, you know, December. All day, every day, it is the feel good stuff. But in the summertime, while we still have half the year left, we definitely get some technical chops in so that y'all are cold in the game. Okay. That is it for day 2. We have 3 days left. Okay. Really quick, we'll do some call outs for the leaderboard. I'll let Hannah shout y'all out. 3 days left is still anybody's game. Okay. And Latoya, if she's here, Latoya will close you out for the boots. Okay. As you go out. But take it away, Hannah.
All right, y'all. So let me refresh because a lot happened in the past 10 minutes with the Q&A. Y'all are killing it when it comes to the points. But I'll be really quick. I'll do top 5. So in 5th place, we have Amber right now with 3,670 points. Amber Heard. And then there's a huge jump, not going to lie. Christina King in 4th place with 5,515 points. Then we have Alexis Miller with 5,905 points in 3rd place. In 2nd place, we have Dana Stansel with 5,975 points. And y'all, in 1st place right now with 7,050 points, we have China Bailey. So,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
China is playing with y'all.
She's not playing the game, y'all. She's going for that podium, okay?
Dang, she snuck up with it, didn't she?
Yeah.
Okay. Dope. Thank you, Hannah. And as a reminder, everybody get used to these faces, okay? Hi, I'm Casey, co-founder and CEO. Hannah.
Co-founder. Co-founder and coming in the Chief Operating Officer.
Toya.
And I am Latoya Dixon Smith, co-founder and head of product. And I want y'all to check out my shirt. It says Defend Black Womanhood because that's what we about up in here. But I won't hold y'all because now that you have been fed and nourished by all of our speakers today for day 2, it is time to go sow some seeds and to shop with our vendors in the Buy Black market. So make sure that you don't just run out of here real quick. Go ahead and step up over in the booth to shop with our vendors. Check out what they have to offer because I have seen a lot of dope stuff that I haven't seen before. So go check them out. And I see a lot of faces, names that I've seen in the chat who are also vendors in that market. So they've been in here getting fed as well. So it'll be great for y'all to go check them out and to support and patronize. Like that's what it's all about.
That's right. Ashe. All right, y'all. We love you so much. Thank you for rocking with us on day 2. Day 2 is officially over in terms of the sessions and take up space in the booths. They do not end 24/7. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.